Hey everyone, Steve here, and hang on. There we go. Alright, so we are back with Snowbreak, so before we get started, more sad news, and it's like the third week now. Tom Kane and Bill Wise sadly passed away. Bill Wise was best known for Knuckles the Echidna from the Sonic OVA back in the late 90s. Remember watching that as a kid. Remember enjoying it. Probably won't enjoy it now. Like, that was like years later. But as for Tom Kane, of course, he's best known for Professor Utonium from Powerpuff Girls, Magneto from the X-Men, Ultron from the Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes and whatnot, and of course Yoda from the Star Wars series. So may both of them rest in peace, and condolences to their friends, family, and colleagues. So yeah. And just speaking of weeks in a row, you kind of failed to realize the last week that I forgot to mention. Apparently there was a miner that was playing Love in D-Space, which now they're under scrutiny right now, but of course they had that collaboration in China with the China Post, and everyone seems okay, but when it comes to this game, when doing collab, nope. Yeah, needless to say, China's cooked. I'm sorry, but, well, I mean, not that it's been cooked already, but they're pretty much cooked now, so. But speaking of getting cooked, that brings us to, well, the last part of the Yehrus story, Skyward Blaze. So, yeah, the final part, and I'm gonna get my controller real quick. There we go. All right, so let's get started. Ready? A couple of hours after we escaped from the bunker, Kedia led us around the Suzdal launch base before we ultimately arrived in an office. It was just as she'd said. The concentration of Titanogen contamination... Oh, shit. It was just as she'd said. The concentration of Titanogen contamination at the Suzdal launch base was higher than anyone could have predicted. The discomfort of Haru and Tessa's faces became increasingly apparent on our way, and they only relaxed somewhat after entering this room. Ready for a what? It's cute how dumb you are. She said for no reason before immediately starting toward me with long strides. Then, without any hesitation, she threw herself into my arms. Okay. Not that I'm on, but okay. Oh. And we're barely just getting started, and she seems assertive already. I mean, not that she has already in the past, but still. What do you think you're doing this time? Don't stand there like a statue. Put your hands where they belong. We've obviously done this before. Don't ask me to teach you again. Are you going to make the adjutant? As Tess spoke, she inadvertently moved to a step closer. Haru grabbed her wrist from where she stood behind her. Captain Haru! Don't get close. There's no Titanogen contamination in this room now, but her body could become a source at any moment. You haven't engaged in combat after being exposed to Titanogen for such a long time before, so just focus on relaxing. Try to calm yourself down. Flooding is no laughing matter. All right. Only a few steps away from me, the two pairs of eyes watching me and Katia conveyed completely different emotions. Only a few steps away from me, the two pairs of eyes watching me and Katia conveyed completely different emotions. I diverted my face in response to their gazes. I couldn't stop myself from thinking about how to handle their next battle. What could I do to protect them from the effects of Titanogen contamination? Hey, Earth to Adjutant. Sulking as I heard her in my brace, she reached out and flicked me on the forehead. I inadvertently turned back to her and looked right into her blue eyes. Her icy blue eyes, I might add. If you hesitate, you won't be able to save anyone. Her lips hadn't moved whatsoever, but it was like her voice was right in my ear. Her whisper was broadcast right into my head, crystal clear. It must be telepathy. What are you talking about? Do I really have to do this to make you understand? She suddenly lost her temper. I raised my eyebrow as the hands that were just rubbing my back clamped down. That familiar sensation of stifling heaviness instantly overcame me. Ah, right, Titanogen. My body can now absorb and convert that stuff. Fragmented Titanogen is basically a vehicle for memories. You can absorb them, understand them, and you can see everything they recorded. Sound, images, words, actions, all that existed. Even things that only existed in the subject's imagination. As long as someone remembers it, you can see it. Your touch. There are a bunch of methods, and the rationale is already complicated. You just need to know that increased skin-to-skin contact is the most effective approach for you right now. Okay, let's cut to the chase. Hug me. Let me get inside your head, and I'm going to show you something that urgently needs to be dealt with. Oh, okay. Okay. I'll take that. I'll take that for sure. Hang on, it's just my camera for a minute. A little too far. Yeah, I've been adjusting my camera. Still need to work on that. Get the right angle eventually, so. Alright, anyways. She's going closer to my embrace naturally, but for some reason I felt a bit nervous? Wait, what do you mean nervous? My heart rate began to speed up. My limbs went numb, and my diaphragm tightened. It was like I was experiencing respiratory alkalosis. Huh. Okay. Carefully make contact or hug her tightly. Some tough decisions, actually. It's heads. Okay, I guess we're going careful. I did most control my trembling body. I started my arms up with my palms and carefully placed them on Katia's back. The numbing ticklish sensation brought about by the contact caused her to... What the hell? Ticklish sensation brought about by the contact caused her to tremble as well. As she rubbed my back with her fingertips, part of her memory entered my mind, along with her soft, delicate touch. It was a memory about me from only a few days ago, but I had no idea it existed. It was also a small secret between Katia Klein and Ichel Gustav. What's going on here? Who has the nerve to cause all this commotion in the mansion? I thought this place had security. Please calm down, Mr. Arseny. I'll escort you to the safe room right away. The Duchess will explain everything to you, sir. I don't want an explanation. Listen up. I know Duchess Olava, and I know exactly what she's up to. You guys better not rope me into this, otherwise. Mr. Arseny, please don't. The assistant still hadn't finished his sentence, but he would never get a chance. Warm liquid spurted from his throat when it was pierced by the crossbow bolt, splashing on Arseny's face. Oh God! Ah! Who's that? What did that? Come on! She emerged from the dark shadows with soft steps. Fiddling with the crossbow in her hands, she walked past Arseny without a second glance. You're that mustarding blue bolt! What are you doing here? Did Olava hire you to kill us? She had already walked past Arseny, but when he said this, she suddenly stopped and turned her head. Her light blue eyes gazed straight into his own. She stared for a moment, then began to approach him. What are you doing? No! Please, no! She did nothing but stare at him, watching as his entire body shook. As he choked and fell to the ground under the weight of an invisible fear, doing everything he could to beg for mercy. The taijin that infiltrated his brain drew her gaze, tortured Arseny until he was rolling on the floor. Even so, she was satisfied and had already vanished. Only the crisp sound of heels hitting the floor could be heard at the end of the hallway. It's so hot. I don't like it. You, outside the door, go away. I'm going to fight you. A petite girl curled up in an old luxurious cigar chair in the dark room. At the moment, Ichel was completely vulnerable and trying her best to endure everything. To endure the invading Taijin purposely began emitted from outside the door to endure her opponent's seemingly sly curiosity? You're more interesting than I thought you'd be, kiddo. The azure beauty pushed open the door and commanded Ichel's attention. You're not a good guy, but you're not bad either. You make me feel bad, but I want to fight you, so go away. You're just like that little you're just like a little panther, really. What a cutie. Omega, you scumbag. A trump card? What do you want with this girl? You weird. You don't want to hurt me, but you said that bad guy's name. Yeah, I don't know what to do. I know I should fight you or not. Even though the little girl claimed to be true, her body was changing. It was enough to wipe the smile off Katia's face and indicate that she was facing a strong enemy. Huh, so that's what's going on here. I think I get it now. You won't leave, then let's fight. Katia, stop! Stop, don't fight her! I shouted, I shouted. Oh shit. I shouted, and it was as if I'd just awoken from a nightmare. The words I screamed seemingly sapped all of my strength, and my entire body felt like I'd been pulled out of a deep pool of water. I felt numbness, exhaustion, fatigue, and had extremely blurred vision. For a moment, I didn't even know where or when I was. Looks like it's still too intense. Whoa! In my daze, I sent myself swelling back into Tessa's arms as she rushed toward me. But in the next instant, she let out a pained groan. Her soft body grew rigid as she shook. Say something, Klein. Hart stood in front of me and Tess, blocking my view of Katia with her back. I could clearly make out the sound of her silver teeth grinding. Forget it. We don't stand a chance. Let's retreat. I used the gentle approach if possible for him to consume fragment to Taijin so he could try to absorb and transform it. But you guys saw what happened. He couldn't keep a hold of it. He couldn't even discern between reality and fantasy. Forced extraction put too much of a burden on his body and... No, that's it. Reality. Oh yeah, that between reality and fantasy seems like an understatement. Especially what's going on. But anyways. Don't forget, all the enemies here are armed with Omega's tech. If you get hurt, you won't be able to leave even if you want to. So let's retreat. Whether it's saving Ichigo or handling that tree, we can't do it on our own. I can see Kadia's face, but she spoke in a tone I never heard from her, plainly laying out the reality of the situation. Her voice wasn't calm or impassioned, hot or cold. I couldn't detect even a hint of emotion. Stop standing there all shocked, Haru. Help them out. I know the way to the entrance. Oh shit. I know the way to the entrance, so I'll show you guys. As long as you can get back to Black Ice Alley and meet up with that Captain Lee lady, you should be able to... You can't order me around here. Heh, but there's someone here who can. Okay, I took advantage of Haru's momentary bewilderment and stepped forward, raising a hand to push her aside. She then reappeared in front of me with a cold expression. You can save one person or save the world, but there's no way you'll save yourself if you can't do that. If you do that. And this place isn't worth saving either. I'll find a way to get that girl Ichi out of there. You don't need to worry about... Okay. Miller heads or tails. Heads again. Wow. Last time Tails was dominating, but now it's heads. 2 for heads, no for tails. She squatted down, talking to herself since I hadn't recovered from the effects of the Taijin contamination. Her voice wavered between clearly and hazy, causing agonizing chaos in my brain. I used all my efforts to raise my arm, slowly put my index finger to her lips. Don't be so dramatic. Even though I've always found it impossible to avoid feeling confused whenever I do anything. When it comes down to it, as long as I want to do it, as long as I promise I will, there's nothing I won't do. We just have to make the impossible possible. Yes, that was a quote from Gurren Lagann. And not the first stream I've done that for, so... Right? I opened my eyes, wide open, look past Katia, see Haru biting her lip in silence. I opened my eyes and look past Katia, see Haru biting her lip in silence. The fierce battle idol's eyes shifted between Katia and me for a moment before she regained her typical composure. Adjutant? Your head is really heavy. Tess suddenly interrupted under me, and I couldn't help raising my head. Her face reflected in my eyes, and her cute tone seemed to be somewhat mocking. If you don't relax and get up, think about what this looks like. Looks like he's so comfortable that he's forgotten what we're dealing with right now. She was right. I hastily stood up, doing my best to maintain my balance so they wouldn't notice I was still feeling the effects of the unabsorbed Taijin. Katie, I have something to ask you. What is it? If I send out a communication signal from this room right now, how long will it take for Omega's men to get here? They won't come. Huh? Did you say this was his base, his lair? He must be holed up in a purified quarantine room like this, right? They're on defensive right now. We're on the offensive. As long as we don't take action or interfere with Omega's experiments, they have no reason to risk engaging us. Smart. That's right, the countdown is hanging over our heads, but we can't see the numbers. Every nook and cranny of this base is connected through the surveillance network. Believe it or not, that old weasel is smiling while he watches us through her security camera. That's fine. That should make things easier. What are you planning? Des, you should match your card to contact Tao and report the situation directly to her. Okay, got it. Haru, I need to stand on guard. Investigate the terminal devices over there and remove this room from Omega's surveillance network if you can. Remember not to do anything through physical means. We still don't know if... Don't worry. This purified quarantine room is the only thing we can rely on right now. I'll make sure it remains safe and airtight. As always, her reliability left me feeling more confident. Looks like you recovered enough to give orders. Now what about me? Need me to do anything for you, Adjutant? Open arms. Well, try it again. Don't hold back this time. Save that rare tenderness of yours for something else. You're unbelievable. Am I? I want you to tell me everything that happened between you and Angel. Alright. Yeah, flashback and route. Progress, Vortex 3. Vortex, oh, yeah, funny. Yeah, I'm wearing the Luna shirt. I'm not too sure. Yep, there we go. You might be wondering, why am I wearing a Luna shirt when this game does not feature Eric Limbeck? Well, I just happened to grab it from Hot Topic, and no, I've not seen the series, admittedly, but did see a bunch of fan art of her, so probably helps that Pickles have done fan art for her, and I may have done a commission for her about her too, so yeah. Oh, give me a moment. Didn't get getting a reply, so okay. Ow, ow, ow. Okay, guess I'll have to wait for a bit. Nope, King is, well, actually, well, I did play it out, Long Yan, and, oh boy, wow, she's pretty OP, alright. Here, we'll just showcase her.
Mada, ここが怖いのね。
違う。こんなとこ早くぶっ壊してやりたいだけだよ。
落ち着いて。約束は必ず守るから。
Distance space. Space is too far away from people of Yehrus. fake a hand over for a Peachel. Halt! State the password. Don't try that with me. You know who I am. Heh, Blue Bolt, the mercenary. You're late. Oh, hey, Rain DX, how you doing? Watch your tone when you're talking to me, urchin. Doing good? Well, that's good. Watch your tone when you're talking to me, urchin. Lowering the price is the least your boss can do. I brought the girl. Where are the others? Inside, in the second room.
ここでしばらくのお別れね。おとなしくしているのよ。
また帰ってくるよね。
いいえ。私のことはもう忘れなさい。これであなたは自由よ。誰も待たなくていいわ。
Yeah, I can tell this is gonna go well. Keep going complete. Walking in alone like this. I don't know if you're brave or just stupid. Stupid. What do you mean? Trying to double cross me? I think twice if I were you. Blue Bolt, you think you're pretty smart, huh? You thought you disguised yourself well enough that his lordship Omega wouldn't recognize you, hmm? You really shouldn't have come here, Catty Klein. Heh. Take a good long look. Compose yourself. Don't waste your time resisting.
よくものこのこと現れたものだ。カーシア・クライン。自暴自棄に陥ったものなど、私が出るまでもない。奴を排除しろ。
肩慣らしにはちょうどよかったわ。やっやっ
Ah, come on.
えい。私一人で十分。
They killed him already?
変化。
Huh. I think it glitched out on me. Okay, well, wow, that was kind of a first. Can't remember if this happened to me before or not. Okay, maybe.
まだここが怖いのね。
違う、こんなとこ早くぶっ壊してやりたいだけだよ。
落ち着いて。約束は必ず守るから。
Okay, doesn't look like I have to pick up that thing again, so. Okay. Yeah, we already
ここ
got through
で
this.
しばらくのお別れね。おとなしくしているのよ。
また帰ってくるよね。
いいえ。私のことはもう忘れなさい。これであなたは自由よ。誰も待たなくていいわ。すべて嵐が連れ去った。
よくものこのこと現れたものだ。カーシア・クライン。自暴自棄に陥ったものなど、私が出るまでもない。奴を排除しろ。
その勇気は褒めてあげる。わらわにやっ職人その程度みたいね。商人はどんな財も見逃さないものよ。
I think I may have killed one of the guys too early. That's probably what it was.
誇り高いこの土地をここまで堕落して真靴に変えるなんて本当様になってるね。この程度で私を足止めできるとでもこれは思ってもみなかった収穫だわ。諸悪の根源が貴様だったとは。
まずはわらわが試してみようか。割と楽勝だったわ。
Beat the hybrid soldier.
Yeah. あ、肩慣らしにはちょうどよかった。
Dance.
やあ。
首を洗って待っておけ。このクソ野郎。貴様が償うべき罪は山ほど残ってるんだから。
好機は逃さないものよ。
Oh, Caddy is pissed. And probably for a good reason. Because, well, what do you expect from Omega?
面白くなってきたわね。
Alright, let's adjust the squad. Okay. Still Cadio. And let's go. Casio. And go hard. Alright.
一撃必中。任せて。
あっちに行け。近づくな。
グスタフの子孫を実験室へ連れて行け。
くそ、どこから情報が。あの子を助けに戻るほどの余裕はないし、まずはここから出ないと。
てーてれー。時代を変える美少女登場。あなたフェーズエナジー暴月フェーズ。任務達成だね。あなたとりあえず一回セーブしようか。
斬撃。斬撃。
無理をするな。
てーてれー。やっベルゲーだね。
In some information, you can use the jump. Remember to use jump and left control key, or just use the
逃げる
B
なら下に向かいなさい、傭兵よ。
誰なの？
質問している暇があるの？言われた通りにしなさい。
どうやらいろんな人間に監視されてるみたいだね。
Alright.
レアモブ。ベルゲーだね。
フェーズ。
Just go Dynasty Warriors on your ass. Alright.
こうなるとやっぱりあっちから飛び降りるしかなさそうね。タイタン物質で軍を武装させるなんてよくも思いつくものだ。本当に狂ってる。フェーズ。
ちょっと面白い。
Come on.
斬撃。
任務達成だね。あなたとりあえず一回セーブしよう
This
か。
says the launch base. Got it. Yep. There we go.
やはりこっちの方が落ち着くな。
Alright. Next stage. I really don't get it. Every second counts. You're just twiddling your thumbs. Take a page from my book and throw everything you've got at them. Kill every last one of them. It isn't over until they're dust. People really don't have any brains when they're mad. What do you say? I'm saying you get even dumber, Finny. Whoever takes risks is the smartest, and end up battered and bruised all over my every single time. Hey, Wesley, do you think? What are you holding that thing? Think powerful handle operators like us need to rely on this thing here to save the adjutant. This is a piece of the special Mori fragment recovered from the Titan you destroyed. You three need to get over there as soon as possible and hand it over to Steven. Let him try to absorb it and then transform it. If he's able to do this, then he has a chance of uprooting that tree. And if he fails, you can already see that part of Valhalla connected to the tree in Yehrus, correct? To a certain extent, you and Steven are now sharing the same view. You know, I'm beginning to wonder now that seeing that Life's getting her fourth exosuit that's coming. Don't know when exactly, but is next story gonna bring this part into play too? I'm trying to think. Okay, enough speculating or thinking theoretically what the next chapter entails. Although, Freddie got her new exosuit. Let's see here. Got her purple form. Well, her little sunshine, her hush. I forgot what was the other one, and she's at 4 now, huh? So far, Benny was the first one, then Marion, and now Fridia. And Life would get her fourth on her way, so yeah. After entering Northwind Aerospace Center, you will come to understand how close you get to the tree. The clearer your and his vision will become. However, the mental pressure will also grow more intense. At most, this sample can help him familiarize himself with how to enter that world. If he gets lost in that space, you'll be his only hope. Oh shit, I almost lost my voice. Not really lost my voice, but slipped up there. Everything is doing something. Everyone is doing something they still haven't mastered. Hey, quick, hide that thing! Looks like it's too late. A series of raucous footsteps found in the hallway outside the weapons workshop door before Akashi could finish speaking. Door flew open and a group of heavy armored security department employees nervously drew their weapons. Caroline stood in front of all of them with somber expression. I didn't know it was you guys, but thank goodness for that. Alright guys, all clear. How could there possibly any Tynogen contamination leak in company, right? The security department employees who had raced there because they had detected high concentrations of Tynogen looked around at one another, then left in a huff at Caroline's assistance. You guys, is the aircraft ready? That's exactly what I'm here. It's ready. Miss Wednesday, we all know you missed the adjutant, but you still can't take that thing out of the company. But you still can't take that thing out on company grounds. Hey, where are you all going? She's just being cold. Who knows why? Just forget it. Just forget about it. The 3 fully equipped operatives proudly strode out of the Yggdrasil front door. They would fly over to Northwind Aerospace as quickly as possible, regardless of the risk that it entailed. The girls had to save the most important person to them. Me, of course! Okay, well, obviously it's the player character, which is us, playing the game. Then they would help them confront the enemy behind everything that had happened recently. The Vanguard squad left by life has already left. We just need to know. We just need to hold on for 6 more hours. That's too long. Omega could take Ichigo's body any minute. If he succeeds, he can use her physical characteristics and the fully activated tree to grant himself immortality. If that happens, no one can stop him. A tyrant with immortality, and an army powered by Titanogen. Ichigo is in the lab by the command center now, but we're on the lowest level of the entire base. In that case, the shortest path to Ichigo would be... A shrill ringing sound suddenly interrupted our deployment, and an insidious laugh full of broadcast through the old-fashioned speaker sitting on the ceiling. Looks like the rats don't know what to escape. They want to steal something, even if it costs them their lives. Omega. Well, since you all want to be put to use and decide an official position to the new minion empire I am creating, then start begging on your hands and knees and calmly accept your death. Concentrated gunfire outside the window of the quarantine room, followed by the cursed voice. Almost instantaneously, Tess pushed on my neck to press me down, while Katia and Haru fired back without any hesitation. Fire full force! Don't let up! Don't leave anyone alive other than the Heimdall adjutant! Yes, sir! The color mark outside the door sounded like a kind of verdict. Even so, there seemed to be a trace of life in those words. Our enemy was frightened by the supernatural power of manifestations, yet because they wanted me alive, they paused before attacking and avoid using more destructive weaponry. But why did he want to spare me? Oh, I think there's may have an idea. You're the one. We're the ones commanding the Heimdall girls. I don't know. Looks like they're only using light weapons. Captain Haru, I can run out there and act as a diversion. Stay down and keep still. Find cover and protect the adjutant. If you want to return fire, aim for their muzzle flash. Kitty Klein, do you copy? Relax, Naruse Haru. I know what you want me to do. Phew, done. Gunfire continued to light up the dim room as Katia's voice sounded over our heads. The Nimble Hunter had avoided all attention by dangling upside down from the ceiling. Like a fucking ninja. Then she instantly shot the enemies closest to the doors and windows with her crossbow bolts, giving us a temporary opening amidst the gunfire. Your turn, Naruse Haru, now. Her sword sliced through the air like a sharp gust. Several enemies who intend on rushing forward were dead before they even got the chance to draw their guns. Haru jumped out of the broken window and I suddenly felt a weightless sensation. Katia landed on the ground before she and Tess rushed out of the quarantine room, supporting me under my arms. Which way? The door up ahead on the right. Watch the corner. As Katia led the advance, she spun around and shot down 3 coordinated soldiers who had poked their heads around the corner and began shooting. Her bolts pierced right through the wall and into their throats, scarring off anyone else from showing their face. Katia, yeah? Do you think those will come in handy? I look at Tess, somewhat surprised. Her eyes gleamed as she stared at the miniature rockets and boosters sitting in the display cabinet in the hallway. Huh. You look like a pretty nice girl. Don't ruin the good impression you made. Well, the magician always put on the most unexpected performances. What are you guys talking about? Stupid idiot! Keep your head down and run. Oh shit. She suddenly shoved me and I staggered forward a few steps before I had time to recover. Her grabbed my wrist up ahead and we barged through a door at the end of the... Her coming up the hallway, we began to end the hallway, yep. And there's... Behind me, Tess's magic card was flashing red. As I heard a violent explosion, the red-haired magician dashed in and slammed the door shut, leaving only a blazing flames and scattered howls outside. Ta-da! Hey, Katia! Tess proudly standing with her hands on her lips. Oh shit. Proudly standing with her hands on her hips, was suddenly overcome with panic when she noticed Katia hadn't racing with her. I looked up and scanned toward the room. There was no signs of Katia in the empty workshop. Oh no, did I mess up? Katia! Your skills aren't bad. I'm sure you're even better on stage, huh? Just as Tess began on to panic, Katia's voice sounded all over communication. Judging by her calm tone, she was most likely completely fine. Sorry. Ugh. You scared me to death. I thought you got hurt in an explosion. Katia, where are you? I'm leading the enemy away from you, and I'm planning our next steps. She was clever, making the right choice for the current circumstances. Omega was turning up the heat. At times like this, operating as a single grid wasn't the best strategy. If we want to keep fighting, we needed someone to be our eyes. She was more familiar with the layout than we were, and her body would remain unaffected by Titangen, meaning she could move about freely. Don't worry, Agitate, I'm not going to bail on you. I mean, considering that you got, what, 3 exosuits that are playable, I highly doubt you will. Hey, that's another thing too. I haven't used the invitations that I got from the compensation. Don't know if I'm gonna if I want to pull her Rhapsody form or some of the other Heimdall girls I have not pulled, which is Narita, Vidya, which we'll get into next week, Ichil, and Boo Boo, which we won't get into her till later. I haven't decided on that, so. If anyone has an idea, be my guest and suggest things, but anyways. Katia, our top priority is to see Ichil. You know what I mean. You don't need to worry about that. I hope she can momentarily control her hatred for Omega and not do anything too risky. Alright, the path on the upper level is clear. Leave from the back door of the workshop and head up to the stairs. I'll be in front of you the whole time and you won't stray too far. But watch your backs. If he doesn't have enough men in this base, Omega will probably call back the Corona guys who were sent over to the bunker. It wouldn't be bad if we got sandwiched between them. She hung up as soon as she finished talking. I inadvertently glanced over the direction we came from, and I saw Tess staring at me with wide eyes. What's wrong? Captain Haru! Adjutant, you and Tess go ahead. If anyone's following us, I'll handle them. She's been holding my wrist ever since we came in. Now she was mumbling to herself with her head lowered, completely unaware that she had already lost control of her own body. Her massively strong grip on my wrist was brought on pain that struck me into the bone. It was also mixed with a sensation of stifling heaviness that was all too familiar. You're hurt. I reached up to hold her shoulders in an effort to check her injuries, but she immediately fell into me as soon as I touched her, like she had no strength left. potent hydrogen poured into me from every inch of her skin that was touching mine, and my vision and thoughts suddenly grew fuzzy. My feet went soft and I wasn't able to keep my balance. I simply hugged her as we fell to the ground together. My hand unconsciously holding her waist suddenly felt something went warm and slick. Adjutant! Captain Haru! Dazed, I could make out Tess running toward us in panic. However, she seemed to be moving in a slow motion, and her face with fear grew less and less distinct. I powerlessly lowered my gaze, spotting a long gash on Haru's waist, where there was a stray bullet that had grazed her. Blood was spewing from the wound, dripping over my palms and between my fists. Ah, fuck. Haru got hit. First it was Odin, and now Tyr. Who will be the next to suffer on your behalf? He. Ida. Keep on fighting, Adjutant. Do your best to harness this unexpected power. You'll just prove yourself that everything of all of this is for nothing. The ridiculing voice sounded close yet distant, while the image in front of my eyes was constantly being warped. Without a doubt, Haru was being flooded, and the recent changes to my body meant I was getting pulled into it too. I had to do something. I wouldn't let the same disaster happen twice. Use their revolver here to injection bullet. I must all my strength as well as the final stages of my conscience to grab the emergency injection bullet in my pocket. While my vision was still blurred, I had no idea where Haru was. Tess, help! The clamorous shouts reverberate with my own heart diminishes and the uncontrollable murmurs by the time left my lips. For a fleeting moment, I could seemingly see the image in front of me clearly. Omega's ambush forces poured into the massive rocket assembly workshop from all directions. Tess dragged Haru and me with one hand and fired at the enemies with her other. Damn! Escape magic, come on! Tess token. Come on, Tess Cocken. Tess Cocken. Think of a magic trick that help everyone escape. Sweat dribbled from her forehead, sliding down her flushed face and down to her small, round chin. I finally fell on my face and began to run into my eyes. I did everything in my power to hold on to this brief moment of consciousness and lifted the injection bullet in my hand, then aimed it at Haru. Didn't have time to load in my gun, so I could only cross my fingers and pierce her with it directly. And in my cerebral spinal fluid should be enough to dissolve this Titanogen overtaking Haru's body. Is that going to work? Or is it too late? Get the fuck out of here, little bitch. I can save her. I'm going to. Adjutant, that's enough. This is it. The video girl in my arm suddenly opened her eyes, turning to look at me. Haru, you. This close to one another, her eyes looked incredibly sharp. The expression she wore was totally different than before. I'm happy I was able to fight alongside you till today. What are you saying? Although I'm reluctant to go, this broken blade can no longer create the tenderness and protection of its scabbard. Please remember me as I am now and do what you must do. She laid her in my arms, saying things I couldn't understand, then took my trembling hand in hers. I watched on helplessly as she flipped my wrist around and jabbed the injection bullet into my own body. What? Captain Haru! Get the adjutant out of here. Save Ichil. Then what about you? Me? Heh. I'll give the guys a taste of Tyr's fury. Alright. Vortex, alright. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Yeah, alright, let's continue on. For dick's sake. Yep. Alright, 1392, 1389. Alright, let's do it.
さあ嵐を巻き起こしてやれ。
息ができない。
下量レベルのタイタン汚染、私たちの侵入に気づいたみたいね。マジシャンの小娘、まだ我慢できる。
うわー、ロケットだ。昔のイロシャってきっとすごかった場所なんだね。あれ、ここから上に登れるみたいだよ。プロマジシャンならあの高い場所から敵に奇襲を仕掛けられるかも。
止められないの。
ようこそ季節の魔法の世界へ。
終わらせる。
目標の排除確認。役に立たない。
Platform jumping. Complete. Find a way into the tunnel.
予備は十分にある。
このダクトを使いなさい。
気をつけて。逃げ場のない狭い空間って罠を設置するのにもってこいの場所だからね。
急ぐのよ。もうすぐあの子に会えるはず。
奴らを阻止せよ。誰一人実験する力がされな。あともう少し。邪魔されてたまるか。
Go that way.
補給は回収した。
Ow.
予備は十分にある。弱点か。
ギミックのメンテがまだ。
下がって、私が代わる。弱点か。
私一人で十分。舞う疾風。さあ嵐が来るよ。よし行こう。すべて嵐が連れ去った。
私たちを阻める者はいないな。分析。
Time for another cutscene. This isn't good! Those manifestations are like monsters! There's no way we can stop them! Hey, you guys are inhuman monsters here! The magic card test through struck the opponent in the forehead, and the bullets blowing closely behind pierced the Titan crystal on his base. He slumped to the ground in an instant, and half of his body evaporated in the blink of an eye. Angel! Over here. As I followed Tess into the lab, Caddy was already pulling a crossbow bolt out of the enemy's hair as she stood next to the control panel wearing a somber expression. Switches of various sizes were densely laid out on the control panel, corresponding to the seemingly countless experimental pods in this room. When I fractured cracks in the exterior, I realized the fuel soaking. From the fractured cracks in the exterior, I realized the people soaking into pods were all submerged in experimental chemicals, artificially creating the experimental bodies infused with Titanogen. Some were already slain by Caddy's crossbows with the half of their bodies. Some were already slain by Caddy's crossbow bolts with the halves of their bodies already filled with Titanogen evaporating without a trace. Some were still trapped inside the experimental pods, but they seemed to have become lifeless vessels long ago. The largest of the experimental pods was almost more insidious of all. Pipes protruded out of it like an octopus's tentacles connecting to other smaller pods. It seemed that the Titanogen within the pod was too concentrated, causing it to leak out through the gaps in the exterior and form thick crystals on the surface. Ichil Gustav was there. What a deranged monster. Adjutant, we need to hurry. My head is killing me. Okay, get Tess out of here now. I dug all of the injection bullets I had left and shoved them into Tess's hands. Use them when you can't. Use these when you can't hold out any longer. It will help you process the Titanogen in your body. I need you guys to clear a path out of there and stay as far away as you can while still providing me with support, okay? Okay. Katia. She stood off to one side, completely silent and staring at me with a complicated look in her eyes. Are you planning to do this all alone? Did you know there are such high concentrations of Titanogen in this experimental pod that not even I can monitor it? That's precisely why I need you girls. That's precisely why I need you girls to follow my orders. You are part of the Heimdall force now, Caddy Klein. I need you to follow orders. She didn't respond. Instead, she pulled out a unique crossbow bolt from her quiver and handed it to me. Break just after you rescue the girl. I'll come right away to get you and Ichil out of this room. Caddy seemingly made up her mind. She turned around and left without a moment's hesitation. Good luck, Adjutant. After leaving me with those simple words of encouragement, Tess followed behind Katia. I turned around to face the horrific experimental pod. By then, I could clearly recognize some of the fragmented Titanogen, materialized as mutilated inhuman spots of light lingering on the pod, almost like prisoners stranded there. Let's go, Ichil. Meanwhile, a series of booming, determined footsteps as final entrance connecting the bunker to the outside world broke the persistent silence. Ow. Ow. Sorry. Ow. Sorry. Anyways. Your Grace! Everything is ready. We're standing by for your orders. Artyom? What are we doing here? Combating foreign aggression, Your Grace. We, the proud people of Yehrus, are simply taking action to protect our home. What price have we paid? The blood of our countrymen, and the remains of the martyrs. Who shared this guilt, this burden with us? Heavy footsteps sounded a few more times, seemingly headed in a different direction. After some time, a voice sounded from the communicator once more. Everyone, Your Grace! The people of Yehrus who have sworn their allegiance to you. Do it! Just do it! Detonate! May the martyrs hear the cries of the invaders. It's up to you now, Adjutant. Let's see how far can you make it. Let's see how far you can make it. Her expression full of exhaustion. Orlava narrowed her eyes and peered at the other seat of her surveillance. Her expression full of exhaustion. Orlava narrowed her eyes and peered at the other set of surveillance videos of the communicator in her hand. The image was blurry, sourced from the helmet camera on the soldier, a soldier whose corpse was laid out on the laboratory control panel. The half of his body that hadn't evaporated still remained its human appearance, and his loyalty to Borency Priver also remained unshaken. Agitate, we cleared the hallway. There was an explosion under the bunker just now. Are you okay? Agitate! Agitate! I was currently focusing on every bit of my energy absorbing and transforming the Titan on the surface of the experimental pod. Doing something as simple as responding was impossible. The control panel was completely obliterated. I would have to dissolve all the Titan on the surface of the pod with my body, then use brute force to open it. Listen to me. If you run into a dead end, break that crossbow bolt. The explosion in the bunker means someone else must be handling Omega right now. We can retreat if things aren't looking good. Icho's body is different from anyone else's. Even if she's in that experimental pod for a bit longer, she should be fine. We can make sure Omega's men haven't overtaken the lab again first. Then we can wait for the company to provide backup. It's not like you don't have a choice. She had to be joking. She wanted me to leave Ichigo here? To let her stay trapped in this horrible cage? No. I'm getting her out right now. I'm getting out of here right now. Open the experimental pod. An ear-splitting sound rang out and I dissolved the last trace of Titan on the exterior of the pod. The massive structure in front of me slowly opened like a pressure relief valve that was loosened. The Titan within the pod was like a flow of stagnant water. Icho's body lay quietly in the vicious, sticky filth while her eyes were shut tightly. Icho. I reached out and slowly began to pull her out. The girl in my arms was so light I could barely feel her. A somewhat troubled expression seemed to flash across her tranquil, unblemished face. Lying silent in my arms, she was like the kitten having a nightmare. I want to snap Crania's crossbow immediately and have her get me in each. I want to snap Crania's crossbow bolt immediately and have her get me and each out of there. However, the pure Titan acted as an invisible chain, tethering me in place. I wasn't able to move a muscle. Adjutant? Oh yeah, I forgot to mention too. There was a bit of an animation glitch or something like that didn't seem to loop when saving Ichil. I think this was prior to, well, pretty much everything got neutered after the maintenance hill. I'm gonna save this for a minute. It smells good. It smells like the adjutant. Ichigo mumbled softly in my arms. She then shifted slightly and moved her face closer to my chest. Adjutant, you finally came. I'm so tired. I've been waiting for you. I didn't lose those bad things. Hey kiddo, wake up. I'm here. I want to talk to her to wake her up, to let her know that I would protect her and never let anyone hurt her ever again. But I can only recite these simple promises to myself and mine, and even that was becoming near impossible. My body was almost completely saturated with Titan. Perhaps I wouldn't be able to hold out another second. Maybe I would fall into the pool of stagnant liquid in front of me, merging with the evil within. I heard you. You didn't need to speak, Adjutant. I could hear you. She slowly opened her eyes, her gaze full of innocence and condemnation as she squinted. Actually, you're a hero. And a dummy. A stupid idiot. I'm no hero, Ichil. I'm just a stupid idiot. I don't know if I can get you out of here. Being called a dummy by Emu from Colorful Stage, or Project Sakai. And yes, that's because Ichil shares her voice actress in Japanese. I could hardly hang on any longer. I was devastated, furious, disoriented, and completely overwhelmed. I couldn't even tell if these emotions were my own, or if they were simply the result of a titan inundating my body. Don't resist them, but don't remember them either. That way, they won't hurt you. He just said this unprompted, like she could sense what I was thinking. Don't escape with me. I don't want to run anymore. Take me to the bad guys. I'll help you. Burn them to the ground. Kenny, I can't handle anymore. I need to go in and see what's happening. No, the titan decontamination is so heavily concentrated in there that you won't be able to handle getting close to that room. If you're going, so am I. Wait a second. What's that feeling? Is that girl going to? Tess, get out of the way. Well, Icho, what are you doing? Get behind me. I promised my hero that I help everyone burn those bad guys to the ground. Fierce flames erupted from the girl's body, ravaging the invaders like a snake spitting venom, transforming them into nothing more than piles of ash in an instant. And actually, it also hit me as I refused to let go of Ichil. That little weasel. Not only did Dr. Kent escape, but he took most of the experimental data with him. We were distracted by the explosion in the bunker at the time. We weren't paying much attention to him, and the team responsible for monitoring him has vanished as well. Judging from this scene, it looks like an outsider who is rather familiar with this place infiltrated it and got him out. Where did they leave from? They cut through the wall. A small unit, but clearly professionals. In under 2 minutes, they had gotten Dr. Kent into a cryopod and left by an aircraft. Heh. I know exactly who's behind this. Mr. Omega, Duchess Orlov is not qualified for this, and Borenzi Primer wouldn't exhibit this type of behavior. It isn't her. It's an old group of friends who has always professed in their support for me. Listen to me. No matter what it takes, you Quarantine need to guard all entrances and exits to the base. No one else comes in. The plan is almost complete, even if I don't have Gustav's descendant. I still have other vessels. With the results of our experiments, my immortality and greater cause are all but guaranteed. Now we need to fully activate the tree and force out these impetuous intruders. I just need you all to help me out until then. While careful planning is indispensable, we still need to look at the reality of the situation, Mr. Omega. Malama just blew up the bunker with most of our men inside. And Commander Roseanne knew you led Coronate to sustain such heavy losses. Oh yeah, Roseanne. Oh, we'll get to Roseanne in the next couple of chapters too. And needless to say, Roseanne's gotta be a bitch to handle too. How dare you speak to me like that? General Adrian has called up more troops from the military garrison in the capital. Alama's resistance army is attacking us like they have nothing to lose. the digital is also getting involved. As an individual with a singular plan, you have made enemies of the military digital and the local restorationist faction. I don't need a puny advisor like you to remind me of the consequences of whether I win or lose. Your commander Rosen is also aware of everything you just said. So return to your post immediately and do as you're told. We can help you hold out for another 12 hours at most. Be careful, sir. A king can tell whether when he lost. Oh shit. A king can tell when he lost his story by the attitude of his subordinates. But Omega had been sitting on the throne for a long time, and he didn't concern himself with the insignificant affairs in his pursuit of true power. What he found truly chilling, what truly terrified him, what that directors of the former board had stolen Dr. Ken away from right under his nose at this crucial moment. Crucial or critical? Critical moment, okay. What could this mean, We've been working together for a long time, Omega. You know the rules of our collaboration. Are you building a great new empire or a sadistic prison? If you want us to help you utilize the media to campaign for you, you need to reveal some of your true plan first. I will seize Gustav's family descendant, use her body to completely establish an affinity with the tree, activate it, then harness its power to intimidate all those who dare resist me. Her unique biological structure will allow me to infiltrate the infinite realm of consciousness known as Valhalla, transcend Ida, and construct a new world that will bend to my will. I will complete my evolution as a human, ascending to all-powerful domination in the world where titans exist. And you all can follow in my footsteps. After all, there are more trees than just this one in Yehrus. I don't want to rain on your parade, but it sounds like the Gustav child is much more important than you in all this. My technology allowed her to be what she is today. I am the one who made her special. Yes, you made her special, alright. I'm sure you want to be special too, Omega. Now, is that clear enough for you? All along, Icho Gustav was simply insurance that Omega had prepared for himself. At this point, he would do what he wanted to do, with or without his insurance. Is that right, Director Tao? Test was being projected in a tactical tower communicator. Currently, all of the Heimdall operatives on standby at the company other than Tao were in the command room. After more than a month, the Battle Isles were finally able to see their beloved adjutant again, even if through a projection. But despite their excitement and relief, they also appeared solemn and nervous. The person they had been thinking about day and night still hadn't given them a response. As soon as the call connected, Tess repeatedly assured them that the adjutant was safe. She did her best to explain that he was only temporarily unconscious due to absorbing too much Titanogen. But they still couldn't calm their nerves. They regretted the fact that they weren't there fighting by his side and protecting him. Yeah, I would feel bad too. So Narisuharu is still missing after she became flooded, and Steven is temporarily incapacitated after trying to save Ichil. Are you, Ichil, and Caddy and Klein are the only ones left who can still fight? The adjutant will wake up. I'll definitely wake him up. Yeah, just tell us our orders. Being timid isn't that guy's style. A long silence followed her blunt comment. The people on both sides of the screen might have understood it a while ago, or perhaps they finally recognized it at the moment. Even if they only lost the adjutant temporarily, even for just a second, they had lost their leader and guidance. Continued the attack. Her voice was soft, yet still surprised everyone. Her response wasn't nearly as cold as before. In fact, it was laced with a concern that everyone could hear. Keep putting pressure on Dim. Don't let up for a second. He brought you this far so you guys could finish Omega off. The company will handle everything else. I'll make sure of it. I'm hoping you will. Alright, so Bloodbath, and then another cutscene, Corner Beast, cutscene, return, Progress X, mutation, cutscene, and the current and the boss. Okay. And we're stuck with Ichel. Katia. And then, of course, you won't be able to use Xing or Dorothy just yet. Yeah, let's just use Mia. Or actually, wait, she's already a shotgun user, never mind. Oh yeah, there's Fria's new exosuit, Spark Drive. Fortune won't be able to use her just yet, so...
さあ、嵐を巻き起こしてやろう。暗号化もできないの？好きなだけ暴れなさい、イチェル。戦い方は覚えている？
ただ撃てばいいんだよね。あの人が言ってた。僕をいじめたやつら。たっぷりと思い知らせてやる。
Yep. Looks like Emu snapped. I don't think anyone from Wonderland Showtime is gonna stop her.
あ？これじゃ全然足りないぞ。
Oh, one of them fell to their grave.
こっちに来い！キラキラを拾ったぞ。ちょっとまずいぞ。この部屋に連れてこられたことがあるから出る方法は知っている。早くしないと。感じるんだ、あの木の怒りが。
着煙よ、全てを飲み込む。それ。商人はどんな財も見逃さないものよ。龍華。ウォーミングアップは十分よ。さて、次の目標を聞かせてくれないかしら。やっ、だいぶ楽になってきたわ。
Yeah, I forgot Ichil's a bit of a healer too.
龍華。商人はどんな財も見逃さないものよ。やっ、まあ肩慣らしにはちょうどよかったわ。 割と楽勝だったわ。
Elevator. Yeah, great. We got a
まず
turret.
はわらわが試してみようかしら。
銃は嫌いだけどこれは面白そうね。音を聞いているだけでも気分がいいわ。
Up there we go.
今日はいい子にしてたからご褒美ちょうだい。
Alright, time for the next cutscene. Director Chow, the transport squad has been assembled. Here's the personnel list. Land, loot, and route, and alternatives. Loot? What the hell? Land, loot. Yeah, there's some loot right down ahead. Yao and Nita will each lead a squad from the railway and highway respectively to avoid the active combat zone near the border. Nita's route would lead straight to Northwind Aerospace Center and Yao... Boss! Caroline barged in slightly flustered, which was completely out of character for her. Ahem. The security department operatives responsible for escorting the aircraft just contacted us. 11 the others. Their aircraft was shot down over the ice field outside Northwind Aerospace Center. Nani? Where are they? In contrast to the intelligence officer's desperate tone, she seemed to be certain of something. Caroline handed the communicator over and a snacky noise immediately sounded. Director Chow, this place is crawling with change and titans. They're different than before. They won't let up, and it seems like they're coordinating their attacks. It's almost like someone is commanding them. Shout mixed with gunshots caused both Chin-Ching and Caroline to furrow their brows, but she lowered her gaze and didn't move an inch. We were close enough to the objective location. The operatives, they were getting ready to parachute, so we were flying at an extremely low altitude. Miss Benny! A muffled noise sounded from the communicator. The security department officer, so nervous and scared that he couldn't speak properly, seemed to get kicked off the screen. After a few seconds, the blonde lioness reappeared on the screen with a furious expression. What are you rambling about? Get the fuck out of here. These security department guys are getting more and more useless. If the adjutant trained you, you never would have turned out to be such a pussy. It looks like things aren't that serious, correct? She raised her gaze, glanced at Chin-Ching and Caroline's face, then looked back at Benny on the screen. That's right, Director Chow. Omega and that guy from whatever faction set up a defensive force outside of the objection location, or whatever. Yeah, that's a good one, Benny. That's a good one, alright. There are hybrid soldiers, Titan weapons, and some weird stuff I've never seen before. I don't even know what to call it. What the power? Heh, it's nothing. The best they could do was slow us down a bit here. That old scumbag Omega is gonna die a painful death. What about the other two operatives? They got dragged into a tactical meeting by some people from the military garrison. Either way, we need to take care of this quickly. Every second we don't, the adjutant is in more danger. Oh, and that thing is safe. Wednesday's been protecting something more the whole way. She hadn't let go of it for a second. Anyways, everything's going smoothly enough. During the worst of it, I just had to pick them off from the rear one by one. It's a bit annoying, but no matter what happens, I'll make sure Wednesday gets that thing to the adjutant. There's still time, Benny. Don't do anything reckless. I'm certain that I warned you what those enemy bullets will do to the manifestations. Easy for you to say now. Well, that's the situation. Let's figure it out quick. The irritable lioness hung up the call, and the large office went silent once again. Looks like our original plan isn't going to work. Can't risk having the transport squad responsible for the Baldur inhibitors pass through the inactive combat zone. What should we do, Director Tao? Don't change the personnel arrangements. Get them all to the border branch first. Caroline scheduled a meeting with the General Adrian. Only the military will be able to deliver the Baldur inhibitors we prepared into Yehrus now. Understood. I'll do it right away. The intelligence officer hastily opened the door and left. Chen also gave Tao a small bow, and then turned around to follow her. Wait a moment. Is there something else, Director Tao? Any news from Yehrus and Marion? They've already found 6, and we suspect that several more are being used by Omega and the other former directors. Their locations are scattered. It's going to take some time to check them. How do you think? Check them all. Okay, never mind. But don't worry. Even if he really can't escape from Yehrus, his death is a certainty. Personnel and the media relations department are drafting some speech for our press conference. I've already contacted the major news organization and well-known journalist. Who cares about them? Soon, everyone will be aware of Omega's crimes. Head held high, the girl left the office. As she watches the slim figure walk away, a smile inadvertently revealed itself on Tao's lips. Seeing for herself that all the battle idols she had chosen were able to stay on their own, she found emotion difficult to put into words. Suddenly, she bit her lower lip. Oh shit! Suddenly, she bit her lower lip again, preventing the smile before it had barely appeared. She grabbed her communicator, stood up from behind the desk, and began another round of conversations. Tatiana Orlova was standing on the second floor of the mansion, leaning against the railing and looking down over her ancestral home. Her beefy communicator did nothing to interrupt her focus. She took a deep breath of the filtered air from her nebulizer, seemingly pondering something. Something came out of the room behind her and walked over, but only when they shoved the communicator into her hand did she turn and look back with a smile. Captain Lee, you're a very honest person. What a shame. If there were more and more people like you in the military, things wouldn't have gotten this bad. I'm a soldier, Duchess Orlova. I don't understand political speak. Yeah, I got no comments, sorry. Then I would like to thank you for not monitoring my communications simply because I allowed you to use this mansion as a base. She raised the communicator as it buzzed and waved in front of Li Xushi. But all she got in response was a gesture that said, "Go right ahead." Oh shit, my controller's dead. With that, Orlova smiled and pressed the button. She walked toward a room deep in the recesses of the second floor. She walked slowly, full of composure. On her way, she suddenly stopped and turned around to look behind her. Li Xushi. Li Xushi. Pursed her lips again, resignation followed. How does it feel to be dragged here forced to place the bet, Director Tao? Thanks to you, everyone's finally gathered here, sitting at a table. Yehrus, Omega, the military, and I. Who will be the loser? And the citizens of Yehrus, Duchess Orlova. They're on the table, not sitting at it, Captain Lee. It's my own ineptitude that had led my countrymen to become pawns for you all to blackmail me with. She glanced over at Li Xushi casually, then glared at Tao on the screen with piercing gaze. She had her medical nebulizer in her mouth, making her expression all the more unclear. Enough being around the bush. We have urgent problems to handle. Yggdrasil has already prepared the first batch of the 100,000 boulder inhibitors. There are enough for the personnel currently at Northwind Aerospace Center. Next up is... Thank you for your generosity. But are you sure it can be delivered? Aren't your new Heimdall recruits and the outstanding soldiers from the capital garrison all trapped outside the Aerospace Center right now? It's almost like someone planned this. They're just waiting outside, not moving a muscle. Why should I suspect you're just putting on an act? Are you standing by as the people of Yehrus slaughter each other, then waiting until everything has settled down for doing what you do best? To Tatiana, what is human life to you? Huh, good question. Captain Lee, can you help me answer that? She sneered as she redirected the question to Lee Kushe. Even though the screen Tao could clearly tell, Lee Kushe grew anxious and uneasy the second she was asked. 4 hours ago, a top-level meeting was held in the capital. Since there are currently no civilians in Northwind Aerospace Center, if Omega and the tree aren't taken care of before sunset tonight, the military is planning to utilize tactical nukes to decimate the Northwind Aerospace Center. Nani? This is a decision from headquarters. We are soldiers. We have no choice but to follow orders. Old mansion, secret tunnels, evil research. Now we just need a rookie policeman to start his first day on the job and we'll be saved. Yeah, it's becoming a cliche at this point, isn't it, Akashia? Then just accept it. If you're fine with it. I don't want to be like you guys. Want to see Akashia, see restraint, follow me. I'll help you mow down these. I'll help mow those guys down. There are only a dozen kilometers left. I can make it. Benny, wait. Wait for what? We should be close now. Wait for me. To pinpoint the adjutant's location. Hey, everyone, give her some space and cover her. Still not enough. I need to get closer. Urgh. Not here either. Where is it? Haru? Ah, shit. You won't be able to find him, Odin. I told you to shut the fuck up. He is attempting to understand everything here, and he's the only one who can. He was born to do this. To provide proof of human stupidity, blind faith, or an error. Go the fuck away. The battle arrow waved her arms furiously, lightning flash, and the virtual images. Lightning flash and the virtual images in front of her vanished without a trace. Even so, the person she was searching for was still nowhere to be found. Adjutant. Nani? Adjutant, please, wake up, okay? Tess Kotkin? Hey, Tess, where are you guys? This is the reality. You aren't from Yehrus. Adjutant, you can't go with them. If you leave, no one will watch my magic. You know, I'm just a silly girl. If you're not around, I won't be able to do anything. And you promised me. You said you'd introduce me to everyone on the Heimdall Force after we get back from Yehrus. You told me you'd introduce me to all of them. You can't keep lying to me again like you did a few years ago, right? But since it's you can't lie to me about whatever you want. You gotta make me 1,000 times, a million times. I don't care. Please, I can't hang on anymore, Adjutant. In this kind of place, I can barely remember your name. It's scary. These consciousness are getting in my head. Steven. Life? I'm sorry, Eve? I know. Both Life and Eve share the same Japanese voice actress. Which, at the time, Eve's rerun and Nikke's happening at the moment, so. But I doubt, I heard my name just now. It was named belonging to the Heimdall Force Adjutant, called up by Life Vesla. My name. The glory of Yehrus. Restore its glory. Make its name known. Allow it to be reborn. Adjutant, you can't go with them. Tess, where are we? What are you saying? I want to ask her out loud, and I was able to, but it seemed like she couldn't hear me. It's you can't lie about me or about whatever you want. You can't lie to me 1,000 times. You can't lie to me 1,000 times, a million times. I don't care. Lie to you, Yes, that really did happen. But even if I did, I would never let that I would never let it happen again. We are together now, and we will face everything together, right? Yes, no matter what happens, we will face it together. So wake up, Adjutant. Dan, wait for me. Wait for us. Life, Tess. I was crying out, panting. It was as if this displacement body weren't mine. It felt like 1,000 times of ants were crawling all over my skin. I was regaining my senses one by one, and it took me ages to remember who and where I was. What the fuck just happened to me? Incredible! I can't believe you finally woken up. But what are you calling up for, Life? The one who saved you is still in your arms. In a dazed kind of smoke, I lowered my head to see Tess disheveled, her red face and her tear-stained eyes, like she had gone through immense pain. Adjutant, I'm so happy you woke up. I heard Life's voice too. It was really fuzzy, but I heard it. I think she could go into that scary place, and she was looking for you. That scary place. Anyone who had contact with it, anyone who has contact with it can go in and see it. Those bad guys are still being bothered. Those guys are still bothering you. Icho softly caressed my forehead, and she said this. Katia followed suit, grabbing onto my wrist. I could see fermented hydrogen leaving my body with their help, evaporating in the surrounding air. Adjutant, you're a stupid idiot. Why didn't you let go after you saw me like that? Ah, right. After I rescued Icho, she had transformed into something I'd never seen before, shooting out cyan flames and scorching every enemy who stood in her path. I was so enveloped by those flames to consist of Titangen in its purest form, burning me from the inside out. Let's just say it's a blessing in disguise. If you're able to endure that, then there's still hope for us to handle the tree by ourselves. Since Tess woke you up, it seems like we don't need to worry about her getting flooded, for now at least. Nice work, magician girl. Yeah, it was done. I want to thank you, Icho. Thank you for teaching me that when the adjutant was unconscious. She leaped out of my arms like a bunny, quickly smothering her clothes, then hid behind Icho, then bent down to pinch her cheeks. The two girls, one big, one small, embraced each other noisily, causing the atmosphere to become more relaxed. Only Katia's expression had a trace of apathy? What is it? Well, I couldn't find Narise Haru. I don't know where she went. I looked around and realized this was where we had to separate after Haru became flooded and I couldn't save her. So they were planning on coming back and looking for Haru while I was in my daze. You look pretty confused. Hey, I just want to check it. You still remember what we have to do, right? Her sudden serious tone snapped me back to reality. Tess and Icho also looked at me with wide eyes. Let's go. How can I forever forget? Since that bullet was shot into my heart, everything around me, everything I cared about, there were too many accounts that needed to be settled, too much vengeance that needed to be dealt, and too many innocent lives, tears, and souls waiting for justice to be served. It was time for him to pay. It's time for him to die in hell. Corn Beast, and then cutscene, return, cutscene, mutation, cutscene, undercard, and a boss fight, and 2 cutscenes after that. Let's use test.
一撃必中。任せ、好きなだけ逃げるといいわ。オメガ。どこに隠れようが、私がこの手で殺してやる。
カシアクライン、ふざけるな。貴様のような怪獣に邪魔されてたまるか。揃ってデンドロンの餌食になるといい。貴様らにこの計画の妨害など叶うものか。
Yeah, he sounded pissed.
これって猫ババじゃない。目標達成。ビューンってね。
じゃじゃーん、任せて。ガーこれからは全部を燃やすんだ。僕すごいだろ。
Fuck off. Dodge. I don't think we, you know.
ちょっとまずいぞ。動かなくなっちゃった。こっちに来い。キラキラを拾ったぞ。
問題ない。行こう。よし行こう。すべて嵐が連れ去った。ウォーミングアップの時間だ。
あの悪人はすぐ目の前だけど、まずはここから通らないと。
気をつけて。あの人はここにはいな
Yeah,
い
they
の。
fell to their deaths.
頭ぶつけたって慰めてくれる人はいないんだから。
もう子供じゃないもん。
Ow.
その勇気を
Oh,
褒
there
め
we
て
go.
あ
One
げ
of
る。
them's gone.
これって猫ババじゃない。よし行こう。すべて嵐が連れ去った。
Jumping in the ones up. Oof, that was close. Oh, shit.
焦らないで。すぐに終わる。
Alright, now. Ah.
ウォーミングアップの時間だ。その勇気は褒めてあげる。ゲームオーバーよ、オメガ。あなたもここで終わりね。
Well, like teleport mission ends.
簡単すぎよ。
Next stage. thieves! You thieves! You thieves! Oh, man. Damn, I can't even try to get Omega voices right. You thieves! Fools! Stupid idiots! Do you all have any idea what you've done? If you all ruin my plan, you will be ruining the future of human evolution. Urgh. The former director took a solid hit to the chest from Cadia's knees. The lowest part of his sternum, at the top of his stomach, one of his vulnerable and pain-inducing spots on the human body. That spot, an area that would be in pain for a long time, if you even simply pressed it with a finger, was struck with enough force to dent a metal plate. You had it coming. Did you hear that? Ruining the future of human evolution? Omega, if the evolution and future of mankind can only be achieved through killing innocents, torturing kids, and creating those monstrous abominations of yours, then why don't human beings just forget about the future? Yeah, that's a good point. She stopped controlling her emotions, screaming as she grabbed Omega by the throat and lifting the short old man off the ground. Oh jeez, he's short. You like being in control, huh? You like to stand on a pedestal and force everyone else to look up to you, huh? Like this? How does it feel? Cadia. Her blue eyes widened with anger as she glanced back suddenly with icy, murderous look. The red-haired girl's gaze trembled, her lips dry as she bit down on it. No! Please don't do this! She looked over at Icho, the clueless girl instinctively turned her head, not looking straight ahead. I can understand fighting fire with fire, that the guilty deserve what's coming to them. Dying a thousand deaths wouldn't even be enough for this guy. I mean, that's true too. But Cadia, you aren't a ruthless mercenary anymore, so please don't do this. Huh, you're a smart girl. Don't say stupid shit. Nani? Enough games. Omega's eyes had already rolled back to his head, feet trembling and face distorted as Cadia choked him. Remember what you did at the Yehrus Sport that whole year? Excuse me. You think you have the right to talk to me about being ruthless? I know how important my current position and identity are precisely because of everything that awful I've done. Since I've officially joined the Heimdall Force and the adjutant is here, I haven't... Before Tess could even finish, her eyes suddenly widened in astonishment as she slowly turned to look at me. Cadia smiled bitterly and walked back over to us slowly. She stood on her tiptoes, raised her eyebrows, and stared me down. Only Icho remained confused, but she seemed to sense the abnormal atmosphere. She was silently hiding behind a table nearby, then moved to sit on top of the table with her legs crossed. Power is energy too. It's the same as Taijin. It doesn't just materialize out of thin air, and it doesn't vanish when someone dies either. It will flow, aggregate. It will flow, aggregate, and ultimately attach itself to new people who killed those in power before. Inspiring, affecting, and destroying the next one. Urgh. This man once considered himself the physical embodiment of power. Now look at him. Now he, Tao, the sly fox Tatiana, and that faraway onlooker Adrian. Huh. I wonder when it's going to be your turn, my dear adjutant. When your turn does come, are you confident that Tess can hold her head high like she just did just now? That she'll be able to stop me, tell me no, and question me with confidence? I had to admit, she stumped me. I mean, those were valid points in all fairness, so... At first I thought Cadia hated Omega purely for personal reasons. I had no idea what she was holding on to a deep question like that, one which no one could answer accurately. When people obtain power, how does it change them? Have these people at the transport center take these to your... Have these people Have the people at the transport center take these to Yehrus. Director Chow, we can't. They're all orders these are all orders we're ready to deliver. If we misuse them now, I will take responsibility. Do it! Just do it! But Director Chow, there are only a few companies willing to work with us right now. You know that if something happens to that person, we need to prepare to prevent the Titan contamination from spreading. If that happens, regardless of whether they're fighting on the front lines or part of the battle, no matter who they are, they need weapons to be effective against the Titans. Alright, understood, Director Chow. Have a retaining power. How do people change? General, please trust me. Have faith in the Beowulf Battalion can handle this. Can you urge the higher-ups from headquarters to reconsider the tactical nuclear strike plans? I've already departed from Northwind Aerospace. I'm on my way to pick up the people from Yggdrasil. They have reinforcements from the Heimdall Force. And didn't you accept the Baldur inhibitors they sent? If you agreed with headquarters from the beginning, why did you accept them? If there's a nuclear strike, who would be left to use them? Captain Lee, please keep your emotions in check. You are carrying out a combat mission. This mission has a clear purpose and result. You've always been an exemplary soldier. Don't allow personal reasons to affect your deployment strategy. After obtaining power, what price will people pay? Tatiana Orlova, look at the face in the mirror. Look at her. You can't make that expression to understand. You can't cry. You don't have the right to cry. You hadn't had it for a long time. You're just one step away from your goal, from what you took responsibility for and promised to do decades ago. This isn't time for your emotions to affect you. You simply can't. You can't let yourself be swayed by that person. He's from Yehrus. He'll never be like your countrymen who follow you, who would die for you. You have a responsibility and a duty to uphold. You can't let your feelings get in the way of that. Yeah, it was some unpleasant stuff. Push Cadia away or walk past Cadia? Yeah, well, I wouldn't really push Cadia. I'll just walk past her. I lowered my head. Seeing I didn't want to respond with a question, there was no answer either way. How was I supposed to help someone else answer? I moved on to the side, walking around her. I wanted to focus on handling Omega. I needed to stop him from activating the tree as soon as possible. Each sudden exclamation surprised me as I looked over blankly to see her puffing out her cheeks angrily. It seemed something had made her extremely unhappy. But I finally saved her. She didn't have to worry anymore. She would never be forced into an awful experimental pod again. It's over, Omega. Or should I call you by your real name? Sergei Dobrinin. You don't deserve to call me by that name. You don't deserve to call me by my name either, dude. It's time to meet your maker, dude. You lapdog. Heh, lapdog. Aren't you one as well? Look who's talking. You are. Power isn't energy. Power isn't a pair of eyes, a kind of perspective. Adjutant. If you look at the world with those eyes, every person becomes either a butcher's knife or a fish on a chopping block. Knives, fish, lapdogs, whatever it may be, they aren't living people anymore. That way, they can be used, sold, murdered, taking advantage of your own gain. You lost those eyes now, so wake the fuck up. Stop that tree. Don't hurt any more innocent people. Because Titans exist in this world, it's already cruel enough. What do you want to add to that cruelty? You said I lost those eyes? You said I'm adding more cruelty in this world? No, you don't understand at all. The world I've seen with these eyes. The sheer power of Yehrus. The perfect order and that results from political strongmen. You haven't seen it. I could have inherited, could have restored it. I should have been immortal, leading everyone and constructing an empire that would never fall. Here he took on crazy, or perhaps he no longer saw me or any of the ugh. Can't even speak. He already gone crazy, or perhaps he no longer saw me or any of the reality around him. I lost interest in attempting to negotiate with him. I stood up and looked around at my operatives. Forget him. Let's take a break. Let's take a break here for now. Keep an eye on him and wait for reinforcements to arrive. I asked Life why I could hear her voice when I was listening before. I have a feeling if I want to deal with that trees once and for all, I'll have to. Adjutant, be careful! Fuck. I was talking to myself in an attempt to calm down, but each of those sudden outbursts startled me. Before I can react, Teddy and Tass were already ducked down next to me, pushing me out. Go to hell, you scumbag! Omega, who had intended to stab me with his cane, was knocked back with a devastatingly powerful kick. Taking advantage of this flurry of crossbow sliced through the air after pinning the once arrogant former board member to the wall of the room. On the wall hung a master portrait of Gustav, the former leader of the Yehrus Federation. Yep. He's a dead man. Oh yeah, they censored the blood on him too, huh? So it's not just a test. Yeesh. On the wall hung the master portrait of Gustav, the former leader of Yehrus Federation. Compared to the grandiose portrait, Omega looked weak, small, and pale as he slumped down into a splattering of his blood. He didn't deserve such a quick death. Are you hurt? I shook my head in response to her. The question I asked you just now, sooner or later, you're gonna have to answer me. I'm gonna watch you till I get that answer. When the leader of the Heimdall Force, an individual, oh shit. With the leader of the Heimdall Force, the individual who commands elite warriors and protects mankind from titans, transformed into a monstrous overcome with a yearning for power in the days to come. It was a question worth considering. But I currently had no desire to say anything. Omega is now dead, leaving even more questions for me. The tree, the aftermath of all this, even more danger lurking behind Omega that hadn't come to surface yet. No, I had to pull myself together. I need more information and support right now. Tess, contact Tao for me. I need to talk to her about something. The response I was expecting never came, so I raised my head and glanced over. Adjutant, do you know what this is? Each had an oddly shaped briefcase. However, what caught my attention wasn't the shape, but rather... Here, I found this in our mansion. What's this? No idea, but it was hidden really well, so it's probably not a piece of junk. If my eyes weren't playing tricks on me, there was only one key that could fit into the hole that didn't match whatsoever with the rest of the briefcase. Your Grace, our sentry has sent us a message. Lee Kushe has successfully extricated the Heimdall reinforcements from the ice field. The 3 manifestations are now racing over to the Citadel launch base. That was pretty quick, but it doesn't matter. At this point, nothing can stop the people of Yehrus from taking back our homeland. The frigid wind bit against her face. As sharp as a knife, she stood tall and domineering outside an entrance to the Citadel launch base in front of everyone. Oh jeez, he has crazy eyes right there. Oh, come to think of it, she may have been corrupted by the Raptors. Yeah, speaking of DK. The building in front of her towered overhead. It remained prohibitive and lofty, a symbol of Yehrus' form of glory. Even so, its interior had been eroded and warped. Mirroring her, the people of Yehrus standing behind her were also all fully armed. Without doubt, she knew the implications of what she's about to do. She knew who she would hurt, who would she betray, but now, her will is no longer hers to control. This land, this civilization, and her history that had been built up over thousands of years were all urging her, wanting her to make a decision that wouldn't allow for personal feelings. It's time. It is time. Or lava, say something. Cecil is an ancient name with a history of chaos. 1,000 years ago, our heroic ancestors of Yehrus built the first fortress by mixing the bones and blood of their enemies with snow. The warriors who had been fighting alone in bitter wasteland were summoned by this name. They had their own territory, their own country for the first time ever. Since then, everything it symbolizes has been carved in the bones of every person of Yehrus. Each and every generation fights with the same fate. It tested their fathers, mothers, brothers, and sisters. Now it is testing us. Testing whether or not we are qualified to continue the stewardship of our country. Testing whether or not we can. No, that's not right. While I am a proud citizen of Yehrus, those haughty words aren't my own thoughts, and neither do they have to be yours. She whipped around suddenly, observing every face behind her with a sharp gaze. Through the hardened resistance army soldiers seemed somewhat surprised. Their eyes clearly brightened. You're not standing here today due to some false destiny or past glory. You were all born innocent, and you deserve better. Your own hatred, fury, and longing to fight back after your dignity was spat on are the reasons you followed me all this time. Attack, people of Yehrus. Use this long-awaited war to take back everything you've deserved. Yep, she's on the move. So let's see here. Return, cutscene, mutation, cutscene, undercurrent, and the boss fight, and 2 cutscenes. Yeah, when... what do we do? Nope. Stuck with them, so...
輝きをまとう私、まさにヒロインって感じでしょ?
Huh. See your face.
体鈍ってない？
Of course they didn't
ウェンズ
censor
デー
that.
戦闘になったら私の足を引っ張らないでね。
活性化したデンドロンがタイタンを召喚するはずだ。急いで分析員と合流してこれを渡さなければ。
会話になってないんだけど。あんたたちの出番は終わりよ。
下がって私が代わる。
Alright.
役に立たない。
Crap, I'm making myself lost. Oh, frick, dear.
Hey, ムダル。君たちの分析員を連れ戻しなさい。イエロ社の問題解決にもうよそ者の干渉は必要ない。リチェルを私に渡すようあの人を説得するのよ。私だってここを君たち自身の墓場にしたくないもの。
目標達成。指示を待つ。
私が救う必要があるの？ 5秒あれば十分。寄らせないよ。
止められないので私に任せて。予備は十分にある。
There you go.
私を傷つけるなんて無理な話よ。あんたたちの出番は終わりよ。
Giant mech.
止められないなら私に任せて。まずい、無差別で信号を放っている。
ちょっと私にも分かるように説明してもらえる？
ここはもうすぐタイタンの巣窟になるって言ってるんだ。
神格侵食を誘発しないためにもくれぐれも冷静さを失わないで。どけ。予備は十分にある。また出るだろうからよく覚えてお
Got rid of the giant mech.
け。目標達成。指示を待つ。
There we go.
雪の奥から声が聞こえてくる。
Alright, cutscene time. Hurg! What the hell is going on here? Why are still people trying to pick us off? Seems like the people lost their minds. They don't look any different from the change. Can we hurry this up? The Titan Gen contamination here is so high. It's horrible. There's no trace of him. Why is he? Are you sure the adjutant is in this base? Up there. How do you know he's up there? These people were all shot in different times. Look closely. They're all executed by someone. The footprints next to them here are neat. They're all falling a path to the stairs. Just now, that woman hacked our comms to issue that sinister warning. Huh? Things are getting pretty exciting. That room up ahead. I hear someone talking inside. Hey, Benny. If that woman talking is Duchess Orlava, the adjutant is probably in danger right now. What are those voices? Benny and Kasia? I found it difficult to control my expression. After not hearing their voices for so long, I smiled like a dumbass. If only for a moment. Still not sure if anyone inside. What if we open the door and a bunch of guns are pointing at us? Huh. I should set up a fortune-telling stall at Yehrus when we get back. Door was pushed open from the outside. Light Benny and Kasia appeared right before my eyes. Other than me, a dozen of armed resistance army soldiers with their dark muzzles lined up neatly were posted in the room to greet them. Of course, Orlava was there as well. She's only a few steps away from me, narrowing her eyes in silent intimidation. Huh, what's this? Called in honor guard when you heard we were coming? There wasn't a trace of her fear in her blonde lioness space. She raised her head proudly, loading shells into the tube of her shotgun one by one. The sound of bullet casings rubbing against the magazine seemed to create some sort of melody, faintly striking at everyone's hearts. As if to accompany that melody, the silver-haired girl standing behind Benny and Akasia faced the crowd and began walking toward me. She looked straight ahead. It was like her amber eyes only ever had room for me. She remained a consistent pace. With each step, dozens of eyes watched on. She did so She did so even in this stifling, tense situation where a fight could break out at any moment. She simply walked right in front of me and came closer than anyone else. I said I would find you. Yeah, that you did, life. That you did. Kick the cup, but thankfully it's empty. Yep, just as I said, yeah, you did find me. I called your name in that place. Did you hear me? I heard you. Loud and clear. Good. Director Tao asked me to bring this with you. You want to get rid of that tree. You need to start with this. She was holding a suitcase, and she balanced it on the palm and got ready to open it. But just as she turned the safety lock on the suitcase and was ready to open it, a hand slowly pressed on the lid down. Don't move. One step out of line, and no matter how many people you have in this room, it won't be enough to handle me. The two of them quickly passed by a lot of his soldiers, pressing their weapons to the back of her head. But there was no trace of anger on the judge's face. She snorted softly, turned her head and around, and glanced at Benny and Acacia. I don't know how many times I've been threatened or gunpoint like this, but I'm sure this time is the happiest I've been. She shifted her gaze back to my face. Thank you, Adjutant. I haven't had a dull moment since you came to Yehrus. You're crazy. Well, what do you expect from the Duchess? Alright, lower your weapons. As soon as she said this, the resistant army soldiers in the room all lowered their weapons without a hint of hesitation. Adjutant! Ella was always Benny made no effort to hide her dissatisfaction. Benny, just put it away for now. We can still negotiate calmly, right? I gazed over to Lava. Her expression was completely relaxed and she glanced at me with a soft smile. Even surrounded by 6 manifestations, she still looked calm and composed. Let's talk somewhere else, Adjutant. On the way here, many people found something that you might be interested in. Here, I'll take you to see it. Maybe you'll damn it, I can't even speak, damn it. Maybe you'll reconsider my proposal after you see it. Hand each over to me and leave those goals of yours, just like we agreed in the beginning. This is my homeland, the home of my people of Yehrus. I want to ensure everyone remains unharmed. No, she can ensure that. The tree was poisoning Yehrus that had become entwined with a rocket on the launch pad outside the base. Our lava wanted to detonate the rocket with a remote control panel, and the tree along with it. She had been carrying around the key to that control panel before, meaning that she had long been planning to do this. If Kaya hadn't found out that key, if Kaya hadn't found that key in the lava's mansion, and if I hadn't helped her get rid of Omega, who would she have taken the key to, and what would she have used to use it to negotiate for? Doing as Alava said would indeed take care of the Doing as Alava said would indeed take care of the tree, but the Titan contamination expelled by the explosion would blanket the entire Northwind Aerospace Center, affecting the land for hundreds of kilometers around. Turning her homeland to a vast, dangerous no man's land, a desolate hell racked by a second disaster, did that qualify as everyone remaining unharmed? I couldn't trust her. She was a politician, playing all sides. She must have some trick up her sleeve. And what was she planning on using to threaten me into giving in now? And we passed through several hallways filled with resistance army soldiers. She led us into a spacious office. As soon as we walked in, the black body bag on one of the tables grabbed my and the other operator's attention. Open it, have a look. I felt a chill running down my spine, resisting the trembling sensation triggered by my sixth sense. I reached toward the body bag on the table. Get back, Adjutant. I'll do it. Fanny grabbed the shoulder, pushing me away softly. She then crisply opened the zipper on the bag, creating a harsh sound as everyone stood in shock and silence. Oh, well, shit. It was Naruse Haru, the ace and captain of the Heimdall Force. She lay silently like a statue. Her clean, immaculate face lacked any expression whatsoever, not even a trace of anger. I'll kill all of you! Benny! The enraged lioness whipped around, drew her gun, and shot at Alarva. Life was one step ahead of her, drew. Carried onto the shotgun handguard, shifting the muscle over. Or the sound of a shot had even began to dissipate. The resistant army soldiers fled from the hallway. However, Kenny's crossbows stopped them from their tracks like falling rain. I turned around to see Tess and Takashi used their bodies as shields to protect Ichil. Each and every one of my operatives was carrying out their duties, they declared Adalova with fury. Yeah, I don't blame him, especially that it's Haru we're talking about that's in the bag. She's dead, but her current state count as alive? He spoke slowly after some time. You said you couldn't agree with my plan. You said you use yourself as a conduit to get rid of the tree. I really want to trust the Adjutant, even though I don't understand the complexities of Titanogen. The experience we shared thus far makes me want to trust you. But isn't that poor girl lying over there precisely because she absorbed too much Titanogen? Tell me, how can I trust you? You can't trust him. That sudden cold voice stunned me. When I looked to the side, life had already opened the box she was carrying. Excuse me. Took up the object inside and placed it on Haru's chest. Ah! Haru, who had been utterly conscious, reacted the second it came into contact with her. Her body twisted slightly, and a pain expression revealed itself on her face. What are you doing? The Titanogen released by the Morty sample instantly caused most of the people in the room and felt discomfort. Orlova furrowed her brow, her gaze shifting between me and life. People have nothing to do with this, don't need to hear the explanation. Get out of here and take your men with you. Perhaps seeing life's decisive attitude caused Orlova to falter. Or maybe something indescribable deep within Orlova's heart was soothing her. Ultimately, she gave me a deep look, as if she was attempting to carve my likeness into her eyes. She then turned around and led everyone out. You guys need to leave too. Huh? Why? Just listen to her, noob. Ew. It makes me wonder who localized this. Did she actually talk like that? Four manifestations. What happens next is worse than being stuck in the nightmare. It's up to you, Wednesday. Don't lose the Adjutant. Fanny patted Life softly on the shoulder as she passed by. I looked at Fanny, but she avoided my gaze and walked out quickly, seemingly angry. I think she knows she doesn't want to lash out at me, so she doesn't want to lash out at us. Is this how the company cured you, Life? A kind of reverse engineering, so the Titanogen in your body gets absorbed by this thing instead. For a while, Katia's eyes have been glowing with a blue radiance. It was a unique reaction she experienced when observing Titanogen. No, we brought this to help the Adjutant master control of it, channeling Titanogen so he can handle the tree. But I can use it now to save those fighting alongside me. When she gazed at the morph fragment, there was a clear disgust in her eyes. However, when she looked at Haru, it immediately transformed into sadness and fury. Put your hand on mine, Adjutant. I will go with you. Ichil! Just as I placed my palm over Life's hand and touched Haru's, her small, pale, and soft hands also covered mine. I want to help you too, Adjutant. Don't resist them, but don't remember them either. That way they won't hurt you. With Ichil's words echoing my ears, I took one last look at Haru's face. I then let down my guard and allowed the Taijin and the warring fragments to invade my body. Once again, I found myself in a strange, confounding place. Yehrus. I don't want to be a puppet for the coyotes. The fuck is this place? Valhalla, Adjutant. It's a realm of consciousness constructed by the Titans. Those bad guys trick people into coming, then trap them here. Just like that short man did to me. Felt the warmth in both my palms. I look all around me, and even though I couldn't see them. I had no doubt they were right next to me. All independent consciousness dissolves here, no longer belonging to the original individuals. It all merges into the core, transforming to exist as one. If you want to preserve your individuality in Valhalla, it means you have to use your willpower to fight off the consciousness of the entire world. Remember everything that belongs to you and you alone. That's how you can traverse through this realm. That is how you can traverse through this realm. Clearly observe its essence, then reshape it. That's what Director Tao said. I don't really understand, but she asked me to tell you. Why did she tell you all this? Because she said you need to understand this to handle the tree. And I was only able to wake up from my coma because that's what I did during that time. The voice in my ear suddenly got closer, as if she was really leaning over and The voice in my ear suddenly got closer. It was as if she was really leaning over and talking to me quietly. I turned to look over in a surprise and realized that life had already completely materialized in front of me. I'm like Besla. I'm your operative. Other than that, I don't have a will that exists in any place. I only accept these beliefs because my thoughts related to you belong to me alone. So no matter how long I'm trapped here, I can maintain my existence. Me too. I'm Ichil. I'm not a symbol like other people say. I'm not. Her petite silhouette grew clearer before my eyes. They were so different from everything else here. So firm in my vision. They weren't hazy or wavering whatsoever. Remember who you are and what you want to do. Who are you? Let everything else simply flow through you to gain freedom. It's something only you can do. 2 hours later, Alaba was sitting in the Suzdal command center. She had a signature smile on her face and she stared at the comm screen in front of her. Inconsistency can disrupt the trust built through negotiation. You know that better than anyone, Your Grace. Of course, General. That's why I contacted you personally as soon as I made this decision. Any decision made by the military is collectively made by headquarters. I cannot change the results alone. But your colleagues aren't shouldering the risks with you. Right now, your subordinates are the only people fighting desperately at Northwind Aerospace Center, no? That includes your precious Beowulf Battalion. Full due respect, I've been wondering something from the beginning. Did headquarters not take that into consideration before they decided to launch a nuclear strike? Although it was brief, she spotted the reaction she was looking for on the composed, confident face on the screen. The Yggdrasil Adjutant is someone who is capable of making miracles happen. He just proved to me again that he's still making new miracles. I'm asking you to postpone the nuclear strike for the sake of our long friendship. The person on the other side of the call didn't commit to anything, hanging up the communication. Orlando smiled bitterly and gently leaned back in her chair. On a table in front of her were the open control panel of her previously lost key. As you can see, I did it. Even though she looked weak, Haru's condition was stable. Without a doubt, we had rescued her from death's door. You're an incredible person, Adjutant. No, I'm just an ordinary person who wants to protect those who I care about. I think you're the same, Duchess Orlava. Huh. You can have the key and remote control panel for the rocket. Regardless what happens in the future, let's deal with the tree together. My officers will split into 2 groups. One will follow me down the door that leads to the launch tower where the tree is located. The other will head to the mechanism control panel on the top level and open the door. Please watch the command center carefully. Of course, if I fail, you can go on with your plan as if nothing's changed. It was like I was talking to myself. Oh, she won't be the only one. Wait. Come back alive, Adjutant. Alright. So, mutation, cutscene, and then 2 more stages after that, and 2 more cutscenes. Oh, definitely met past the 2-hour mark, so definitely 2 hours and 2.5 hours. Alright. No, we're stuck with them. Oh, well, wonderful.
さあ、嵐を巻き起こしてやろう。
さっきは本当に緊張した。でもオルロバ工作に理解してもらえてよかった。これでまた勝利に一歩近づけたよね。ユチェル、マジックを使って一緒に悪いやつを阻止しようよ。分析員や先輩たちのために時間稼ぎをするよ。気をつけて。こいつらには触れちゃダメだぞ。さあ、マジックショーの始まり。ようこそテスの魔法の世界へ。
問題ない。行こう。これって猫ババじゃないの？
Keep searching. Upstairs is your alright. Up we go. Come on. There we go.
私一人で残念。図星のようね。これって猫ババじゃ。私一人で十分。舞う疾風。さあ、嵐が来るよ。
これからは全部燃やすんだ。
Yep, that's it.
今日はいい子にしてたからご褒美ちょうだい。
Alright. Cutscene. Meanwhile, far from Yehrus, vehicles from major media outlets were parked in front of the Yugoslav headquarters. Mainstream media journalists and photographers with cameras were warming up for the event in front of their respective audiences. This will be the first appearance of Tao, the current director of Yugoslav Enterprises, since the events at the 5th Research Institute. According to a previous statement published by the Yugoslav Media Relations Department, This press conference was certainly announced by Tao to expose the crimes committed by Omega, a former member of the Yehrus board. While there has been long an information blockade of Northwind Aerospace Center, it's rumored that the local Coronate faction has essentially broken away from military control, severely endangering the stability of Yehrus. Paired with recent reports from the other areas in Yehrus, it's difficult to believe that Coronate faction isn't behind the massive influx of people from the rear military controlled area to Northwind Aerospace Center. Last month, a large-scale conflict broke out near Oswell Street Steel Mill at the Yehrus border, severely damaging the Barentsy Priber hard maglev rail. Duchess Tatiana Orlov looked quite uncomfortable during her last interview. Is there something that is being hidden from the public? After the appearance of the Titan tree, what exactly has been transpiring at Northwind Aerospace Center over the past few months? As the trump card against Titans, what is the Heimdall Force doing now? She stood in front of the floor to ceiling window in the office, silently observing the ruckus from afar. What kind of rhetoric would serve to publicize the truth? What kind of rhetoric would serve to publicize the truth while also protecting Yehrus as much as possible, especially the adjutant, along with the reputation and safety of the Heimdall Force? Before she never troubled herself with these things. There are people on the board more familiar with it. Back then, she just needed to focus on what she was proficient at. But she couldn't do that anymore. Regardless of her quiet nature in 10 minutes, she had to stand in the spotlight to accept their questions, attacks, and provocations, all meant to trap her. She read the speech that Ji Shenxing and the Media Relations Department had drafted for her countless times. Each time she read it, it felt more and more disquieted. Shouldn't she reveal the whole truth, or should she continue concealing the truth from the public and just blame everything on the dead Omega? According to the latest updates from the front lines, the adjutant has succeeded in observing and transforming the missing warrior fragment, and Lava is helping him get ready for the next step. But as the issue of the tree still hadn't been solved, at the moment, no one could predict what might happen. Steven, what do you want me to do? Wait for the tides to shift. Wait for a strong, legitimate reason for you to leverage the company's power. Yes, the truth didn't matter. The truth was the least important thing right now. The reason she was doing this by herself was to help attract more attention to the adjutant, thereby protecting him. While she was in comfort and safety far from Yehrus, she had to ensure his safety. She had to let the world know that there were currently many people still conveying the power of Titanjin. The existence of trees was more important to some people than human life. Director Tao. The girl who walked through the door was dressed in a neat combat uniform, but she was wearing a rare hint of makeup. She would accompany Tao today to face the pressure of the media. Why not cosplay as Dorothy, Shenxing? That'll convince everyone. Okay, all jokes aside. It's time? No, not yet. The notebook revealed itself on the girl's face. I think she was troubled by a difficult decision. We might need to look at this. She knew Ji Shenxing, and she knew what it meant when this girl wore such a hesitant expression. With that, she took the initiative to walk over to the girl. Despite Shenxing's hesitation, she took the video playback device from her. Of course, what she had been secretly worried about since she began preparing for the press conference had happened. To the Yehrus viewers and writers in front of the screen, greetings. I trust that everyone still remembers me. Like everyone else, I'm eagerly awaiting the upcoming press conference being held by my former partner, Miss Tao. Let me guess, you'll have so many things to ask her about Northwind Aerospace and Yehrus. Excuse me, sorry. What forces took part in the fight as Oswald Street Steel Mill? Why did the parentheses primer hard maglev rail and train explode? Is the Carney faction really suspected of forcing people from the military occupied zone to participate in inhumane experiments? Did the Heimdall Force and their adjutant play a part in these incidents? Heh, that woman has to come up with so many lies to deceive you all, just like she used the underhand methods to push me and the others innocent individuals out of Yggdrasil. This time, she prepared a scapegoat, one who has already passed away. In all honesty, I'm just curious to see what she will say to fool everyone. So before she officially takes stage, allow me to warm up the audience for her first. You two, the temporary distribution camp is here, and we'll be distributing everything here as well. With the Suzzle base at the center of everything, the surrounding contamination is incredibly severe. This is the only place that can be considered safe right now. Heh, this place really smells like the street. It reminds me of when I was little. How did it let a place become like this in the Yehrus military occupied zone though? Sorry, I cannot answer that question. Don't get all nervous, we're just chatting. Hey, you guys come with me and take the inhibitors to the warehouse. Got it. Not long before, the garrison soldiers trapped on the ice field had followed the path forcibly opened up by Lee Cuchet and the Beowulf battalion, safely retreating to Northwind Aerospace Center. Nita and Yao had set out from Yggdrasil's border branch, hovering around the surrounding area as they used a relay technique to refill in the air before they also received the okay to land. Currently, they and the officers from the Yggdrasil Security Department were also transporting the Boulder inhibitors from the headquarters to the distribution camps set up by the garrison troops. But the girls' thoughts were focused on the adjutant. They wanted nothing more than to immediately drop their cargo, head straight for the Suzdal launch base and protect him from like life. Before they had left, Tal warned them that the safe distribution of Boulder inhibitors was just as important. Their only objective was to keep everyone still here, safe from the encroachment of the Titanogen contamination. I'm going to need damages for the harm to my mental health, reimbursements for food, and overtime pay after a month for confinement. What else is there? There's so many ways for me to make a buck. Adjutant, you have to come back alive. My dream of getting rich, it all depends on you. She is that desperate for her money and wealthiness, isn't she? Her hands clasped in ice, sparkling Nita like a Devo follower prying to the shadowy sky. Even so, Yao stood next to her with her head lowered, not uttering a word. Hey, what's up with you? You're so quiet. Are you not feeling good? I find my distaste for working overtime and losing. And this is the woman who shares the same voice as Red Hood, I might add. At least the Japanese. Huh? I know Director Tao said we need to focus on the Boulder inhibitors, but I can't stop worrying about the adjutant. That's a Titanogen tree, Nita. It can't just be cut down or plucked out of the ground, and using it like his body as a conduit sounds even more ridiculous. So, what are you planning? They glance at one another as the corners of their lips tilted up. Do I need to see it? I mean, we're already here, so we might as well do something. General, the Uter Boulder inhibitors are right. There are now 8 manifestations from the Heimdall Force here, in addition to myself and the garrison soldiers. There are so many people here working to hard resolve the crisis. Why does headquarters insist on being so stubborn? If we bomb the aerospace center and destroy it, it would be setting a terrible predicament for people all around the world. In the future, any armed group or maybe even an individual could use eliminating Titanogen as an excuse for nuclear deterrence or to instigate nuclear attacks. Is headquarters planning on using a violent incident like that to announce to the militaries, "It isn't about the tree anymore, Captain Lee. Look at this. The staff intercepted an order sent by Roseanne Coronet to all Special Forces personnel remaining at Northwind Aerospace Center. The message that arrived in the beeping comms was as shocking as a lightning bolt from the sky. If it was just about the tree, headquarters would have simply trusted the Heimdall Force and Borency Private to handle it. But if this order is real, you know what you're going to find there. There's only 1 hour. Everyone needs to retreat. Darrow entering hung up the call. He was certain that the information he just given to his subordinate was enough to help her understand the best course of action. The best course of action would potentially lead to the worst case scenario. Got it. Captain Lee, so this is where you've been. We helped you a lot, right? Why don't you do something in return to pick a few of your men who could come with us? Run quickly. What is it? Captain Lee? As Alanita looked confused, Lee Couche turned around. Her face was drained of all color, filled with anxiety and rage. Tell Director Tell your adjutant. Everyone needs to evacuate from Northwind Aerospace Center immediately. Deserted, frigid, there was no signs of life in the empty room. Omega's corpse was hanging by Gustav's portrait, made the atmosphere all the more depressing. That depression made her heart pound, but was that feeling almost euphoric? Perhaps her heart was overflowing with so many emotions that she couldn't tell what in particular was making her feel so suffocated. She could only breathe in the filtered air from her nebulizer in big gulps, taking deep breaths that thickened each time to control the trembling pleasure racking her body. She slowly moved closer to him until the scent of blood and ink on the picture frame combined together and inundated her brain until his death was undeniably visible to her. He reached out with slender fingers, carefully and gently lifting up his askew collar. She placed his ball and mantle back onto his stiff, lifeless shoulders. But the next second, his mantle slipped down once again. You. She took a small step backward, reached up with her finger, and gently swept away a tear from a corner of her eye. A hero, a liar, careers suspended on the springs of desire for power and fear of death. How could someone like you be from Yehrus? Someone so greedy for life and petrified of death. You spent your entire life going through so much trouble to be a traitor, snarling like a dog wherever you go, troubling everyone around you. In the end, did you avoid death, Sergei Dobrynin? Not so funny, Uncle Sergei. Wait, that's her uncle. Yeesh. Do you remember the day that this portrait was completed? Right here, the door behind me. You were the one who brought me in to see it. Back then, my father. Right. He was standing here, and Uncle Gustav was across from him. Huh. This entire room is full of your generation's achievements, the glory of the past, the mightiest generals and leaders in all of Yehrus here. The scent of blood lingers on you all, the old guard who survived life and death combat on the battlefield. When I stood in your presence back then, I was so terrified that I would almost faint. But you tell me jokes to calm me down, and joke about yourself. You said one day you asked the citizens of Yehrus to paint a portrait of you and hang it next to Uncle Gustav. You said every hero in this room deserved to be painted on display. Then you looked at me seriously and said, after a few generations, when the future people of Yehrus came here and admired you all as heroes. Excuse me. No one would make fun of you for being short ever again. Well, could have been worse. Excuse me. Because it means everyone looks like they're the same height. Huh? Now I think about it, you were an unpleasant person. You're always beating around the bush, trying to hide whatever darkness was within you, but failing. Oh crap. Okay, now I'm legitimately coughing. Oh, excuse me for it. Oh, sorry about that. Crap. Okay, that was not me acting. That was real coughing. Ugh. These intense emotions testified to suffocating pain, and Lava could feel something inside her body disintegrating and dissipating. She desperately inhaled through her nebulizer, but the air didn't seem to be enough to satisfy her. It was like an invisible blade was slicing through her chest, and she couldn't stop herself from coughing up a mouthful of blood. Along with the blood came a sensation of stifling heaviness. On the other side of the room, where the floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the tower and the tree, her communicator began to ring. She was stumbled over, unsteady, even just taking these few steps. She seemed somewhat confused. I'm listening. Good, be careful. It was a call from the adjutant. She needs to work with him to use the control panel to activate the launch preparation sequence, thus opening the launch pad. That way, when his operatives open the last door, he would be able to get to the roots of the tree. Then everything would be over. Yes, it was time to settle things once and for all. The people of Yehrus had been bogged down by suffering for too long. The people of Yehrus had been bogged down by suffering for too long, as had she. If he really could succeed, she would find the best artist to paint a portrait of him and hang it next to Gustav's. With that in mind, she pushed the key into the control panel and opened the suitcase that held their fate within. That old man heard everything you just said. Orlava was in daze as an unfamiliar voice sounded outside the window in front of her. She looked up in shock to see a blurry figure through the glass. Commander Rosen sends her regards, Duchess Orlava. It was so quiet, nearly undetectable. Someone penetrated the glass, breaking apart the nebulizer in her hand, and finally invading her body and heart. Then it led the most evil thing in this world, something that had been buried deep within her long ago, to explode. Descend to Tatiana. Descend, daughter of Yehrus. Become our tears. Usher in our rebirth. Oh boy. Yeah, we're stuck with them.
私まさにヒロインって感じでしょ。目標なんでこんなに曲がりくねってるのよ。
ダンジョンって嫌いなんだよね。時間がない。コントロールバルブに急げ。ファニー、先陣を頼む。
もちろんそのつもりよ。あなたたちこそもたもたしてたら置いてくわよ。
Alright, this is the annoying maze game.
にとっては簡単よ。やったわ。次はどこ？
ここの設計をした人は多分方向音痴だね。
どういうことよ。
迷子になる辛さをみんなにシェアしようとしてるってこと。
今変えてるわよ。
Yeah, that's right. Better be careful. Ah, fuck.
これは私を怒らせた罰よ。
Okay. Nope.
私にこれは必要ないでしょ。
Alright. Alright. Forgot. That's what they do. Nope. Shit. God damn it. Seal that. Definitely need to seal that for sure.
私にとっては簡単よ。いや、今のは何よ。
タイタンだ。
はあ？
危ない。そのバルブを開けないで。
Ow, fuck. Oh, that was close.
私にこれは必要ないでしょ。
Nope.
目標達成。当然の結果よ。
Enter the elevator.
この揺れユミルか。いや、これはもっといびつな存在だ。
何ブツブツ言ってんのよ。こんなの冗談じゃないわ。約束通り100点をつけてちょうだい。
Alright. Now we entered the boss. And I'm stuck with them, so...
嵐を巻き起こして。
これがタイタンなの？オルロバ公爵が。彼女の体今の僕と一緒だ。一緒って何が？
完全に融合しきっていないせいでまだ人の部分が残ってるってことね。
彼女はあそこから抜け出してはいけない。じゃないと木に負けてしまうんだ。これからは全部を燃やすんだ。
イエロシャの意志に屈するがいい。
ギミックのメンテがまだ。
問題ない。いかん残念。図星のようね。
分析。早く逃げなさい。
焦らないで。すぐに終わる。
There we go.
君の彼方へ。
Okay. Yeah, I knew I. Yep. I mean, I knew I got all the objectives, but still.
一撃必中。任せて。
これがタイタンなの？俺の魔鉱石が彼女の体、今の僕と一緒だ。一緒って何が？
完全に融合しきっていないせいでまだ人の部分が残ってるってことね。
彼女はあそこから抜け出してはいけない。じゃないと木に負けてしまうんだ。ようこそテスの魔法の世界へ。
問題ない。行こう。その意志に舞う疾風。さあ嵐が来るよ。
これからは全部を燃やすんだ。
Okay. Come on.
It's まずいぞ。本日のラッキーさんは君だ。
私一人で残念。図星のようね。バイバイそよ風さん。よし行こう。全て嵐が連れ去った。
今日はいい子にしてたからご褒美ちょうだい。
There we go. There should be an easy target. Hey, Adjutant, Lazy Bones, get up! I opened my eyes to find Tess sitting on top of me, leaning down over me. When she saw me looking up, she pulled back her hand that was holding onto my nose. Unbelievable! It's ready to get a vacation while we're on official business. What are you lying around as soon as we got here? Official business? Vacation? My head was a mess. I couldn't understand what she was talking about. Maybe I really had been lying down for too long. Excuse me. Every joint of my body was sore. I instinctively flipped over, and several match cards fell from my face onto the pulse rug next to the recliner. I just made a bet with them to see how many cards I could put on you before you woke up. I covered you in them, and you didn't even notice. Them? Let him sleep if he wants to. I'm going downstairs to the ball. I need to let the people of Yehrus know. Yehrus? You guys want to go, just go. All this noise is distracting me from speedrunning. You came all the way here, and you want to lay in your room and play games? I'm an old lady, okay? My waist and legs are giving out. I don't like to move around as much as you do. I mean, technically speaking, you were in frozen time, and it took you, what? Quite a few decades later to get you out of your cryogenic sleep. Come to think of it, I'm surprised Bryce hasn't had any damage issues in Futurama over 1,000 years. No, something wasn't right. What's the matter, Adjutant? Is something wrong? How it is. Everything was wrong. I suffered through my pains in my joints and tried to stand up, but I didn't realize I remembered this place. It was the parlor of Orlov Mansion. I shouldn't have been there. Yes, you shouldn't be here. You usual people should have involved yourself in Yehrus affairs. We spent so much time preparing. We were only one step away from capturing Duchess Orlova and the rebels behind her. It was all your fault. Do you like murdering people, Heimdall Adjutant? Of course it does! It's in his nature. Once he started, it only got worse. After killing the first one, there will only be countless others. He will step on their bones, climbing up and step by step, until he reaches the top and falls. Just like me. So that's what happened. Drew gun and shoot. Even though my body felt like a heap of old rusted parts. Even though simply moving my finger was painful, I still drew my weapon as fast as I could and pointed at the face in front of me. I then pulled the trigger without hesitation. You think I'm just like you, huh? One shot followed by another, then another. I understood where I was, but I was struggling helplessly against the situation or venting some pent-up rage. In front of me, Millwood had fallen to the ground, but that despicable grin still remained on his face. My bullets passed through his body one after another, not entering the thick black shadow of my feet. Looks like these little games are only good for making you angry. They can't make you forget who you are. What a boring ass trick. Yes, it's a boring ass trick. As suspected, I was still in Valhalla. But I'm happy since you're the only one playing with me. You're the only one who can, and actually, so I'm happy. What the hell are you trying to do? What I'm trying to do? Don't ask a stupid question like that. I'm just a creature. What I want to do might not be for me to say. If you really want to know, why don't you ask the instigator over here? Her expression appears extremely sweet, but her tone was indescribably cold and venomous. I followed her gaze to look at what she had called the instigator. Don't listen to anything she says, Adjutant. You've already defeated her. You already took care of the tree in Yehrus. You have taken the first steps toward mankind's victory over the Titans and found a way to defeat her. As long as you're here, she will be stuck at the point of creation forever. She won't be able to go any further. What an evil mother! Now that she has someone else, she'll go as far as to betray her own daughter and abandon her beliefs. I understand. You're just the same as before. The only thing you can think about is creating a god. Are you trying to turn him into a god now too? Don't forget it, I chose him first. His ability to survive death and control this new power. It proves that I have a better eye for your talent than you. I will just stand by and watch as you take him away and allow him to degrade. Enough. I stopped the conversation standing between them. You aren't Tao. At least you aren't the Tao I know. And you aren't the real Ida either. Hee hee. You're just the last two consciences in the corner of Valhalla that is about to collapse. Oh man, I hope this song doesn't get copyrighted. Yes, they weren't real. The so-called realm of consciousness wasn't real either. I was there to do something. I didn't belong there. Humans didn't belong there. Down by their throats. Wow, they're pretty clever, huh? What I needed to do was clear. Just like deal with the tree, I need to use my body as a conduit to caused the two disguised individuals in front of me to vanish. Then everything revealed. I, Steven, the Heimdall Force adjutant, want to go back to my own world. There are lots of people there waiting for me to go back. In my hands, the final two after into consciousness with reason struggle. Steven felt alive, with powerful heartbeats. I'm willing to give up. They constantly transformed before my eyes until they took on the appearance of people I cared about. For a moment, I almost couldn't help letting go. Adjutant, don't let go. They aren't real. They're bad. I'm not there. I heard friendly, familiar voice in my ears. It was just like before. It felt like life and each other were behind me, surrounding me, protecting me. It made me even more determined to end this and get back to them. Get back to the world my operatives were. Get in there. Get in here. Then disappear. Sorry. When I opened my eyes again, I immediately recognized where I was. The tall figure that my eyes landed on astonished me. You're awake. It was never ending, huh? I reached for my holster without a moment's hesitation. I didn't draw my gun and fired the illusion in front of me. However, the place I reached for was empty. I couldn't help lower my gaze in shock. Forget my holster, all my clothes had been changed. When I looked around, I realized that all my operatives were all standing in a room, looking at me with uncertainty. Test if this is real. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. I suddenly reached out and pinched at the flesh of my thigh hard. The shooting pain caused me to suck in a breath of cold air through my clenched teeth. Ah! Ow! Ah! Okay, this is real. Ah! What are you doing? Her icy face rarely ever thought of blushed in response to what I did. Behind her, Katia seemed to be the first to react, openly laughing her head off. What a stupid idiot. Do you think you're still in Valhalla? Yes. Her charming blue eyes sparkled as she stared straight at me. Relax, your body isn't showing any adverse effects from the Taija now. You were unconscious for 2 days now. For 2 days. But now, you're back in this world. Am I really blank? Am I really back? Ugh, I almost slipped there. I look at life and each other for help. There were 2 people who had entered Valhalla with me, so the responses would go further in convincing me. Yes, you're back. Life leaned against the wall, arms crossed and silently smiled on her face. Only her faintly furrowed her brow betrayed her, letting me know she had been worried up until now. Adjutant! You big stupid idiot! Each will put her fingers on her. Each will put her forehead. Each will put her fingers to her forehead like horns, reminding me that if I wasn't actually back, she would look different. Her adorable tone and expression caused everyone in the room laugh. Seeing this, my heart finally swelled. Finally, it's over. Oh, it won't be over for long. Yes, it's over. But there's still some things we need to talk about. Of course. I raised my head as she spoke, my eyes meeting hers. Tatiana, or Lava, is gone. She turned to a Titan because someone had been sabotaging her nebulizer with Titanogen, causing her to accumulate within her body. On the day of the incident, the military intercepted her in a order from Commander Roseanne, the leader of the Cowarnef faction, to the assassins. But no one expected their target to be her. We got rid of the tree in Yehrus, but our enemy also took away the last leader who could maintain order in the region. The aftermath won't be much easier to handle than uprooting that tree. Later, it took me a while to understand everything Tal explained to me. While I was forced to fight Orlava after she transformed into a Titan, the remaining board members were dealing with Tal's plan to free the media. If the Heimdall operatives and I hadn't defeated Orlava to deal with the tree, Yugisa would probably be faced with endless criticism and no way to refute it right now. Even more dangerous, the military headquarters has also issued a nuclear strike at the time I entered Valhalla. With over a dozen tactical nukes strapped into an aircraft headed straight for Northwind Aerospace Center. At the last second, Nita Yao and Li Qiushe made their way to Suzdal launch base. Made their way to Suzdal launch base to help us and spotted the tree on the launch tower dissipating. The Akusha contacted General Adrian right away. General Adrian then overruled the nuke order from the headquarters, saving the aerospace center from the disaster of human origin. For that reason, the military remained silent on the incident, completely refusing to reveal the truth to the outside world. As a negotiation tactic or a type of compensation, Ichigo was about to leave Yehrus, and I would take care of her as a member of the Heimdall force. The same was true for Katia. She seemed to be very bitter about my authority over her and was keeping a close eye on me. How ridiculous. What is it? Ah, it's nothing. She and I were walking on the train platform together. Other than Life, Katia, and Ichigo, who had elected to stay with me to handle some of the aftermath, the other officers have taken the train straight back to Usual headquarters. Tess, with all her knowledge of the situation in Yehrus, should have stayed too, but she was as worried as Haru's injuries as I was. After getting Tao's silent approval, she quickly returned. By the way, you still haven't told me why you came here in person. This place is safe, and this isn't really like you. You don't already know the answer to that? Well, she was seemingly complaining about me with the tone and expression I'd never seen before. Didn't you say it yourself? You wanted me to act like a true superior, and to take care of you all. So that's what I'm doing. She said those words like she's been defeated. Then she turned and left, leaving me standing alone on the platform. Huh. Under the colorful aurora and in the night sky, Sichin Railway Station remained mysteriously beautiful. But unlike when I first arrived, it no longer looked like a massive monster looking for someone to devour. Excuse me. Cold breeze blew past my face, causing me to shiver and pull my arms close to my body. I looked up the Suzdal launch base, limited by the scattered lights on the platform. There's something bad staring me over there. I don't want it to win. Yeah, we didn't let it win. You didn't let it win either. Sun will definitely come out in Yehrus tomorrow. To be continued. Dun dun dun! And that would be for the next stream, but we still got one more cutscene left before we wrap it up.
小さい頃、父にこう尋ねた。なぜイエロ社の人はいつも戦っているの？なんで皆はいつも何か目標を見つけて戦いを始めるの？まるで戦わないと自分たちの存在価値を失うみたい。まるで目標がなければイエロ社は確かこの質問で父を困惑させたな。目を見開いて口が半開きになって何も言えなかったな。
And there was no subtitles, That's weird.
あとこう尋ねた。もし戦いたくなかったら私はまだイエロ社人のままでいられるのって。
And there's some voice acting in the cutscenes too. Weirdly enough, we don't really get actual voice acting on the cutscenes till, well, once we get to the journey stuff, that was made after the Fenny and Yehrus' event happened months ago. And as I mentioned, the first few chapters, especially this one, got locked behind until you finish up the first few chapters of the journey stuff, which is rather annoying. So, but that's why we're here. So, anyways,
もし私が臆病でトラブルを恐れ血を流したくなかったら、この土地で生きる資格はまだあるの？イエロ社の男は戦わずしてお酒だけを楽しめるの？イエロ社の女性は自分の赴くままの生活ができるの？質問が山ほどある。けどこれ以上聞かなかった。その後、父は私の目の前で号泣し始めた。一人の英雄、将軍、そして一人の男としては無様な泣き顔だった。それの何がダメなんだ？タニアよ、なぜだ？後にして分かったのだが、戦闘は一つの選択肢ではなく、選択肢がなくなった後の結果だと。結局、私たちは結果を受け入れるしかないの。お父さん、私負けちゃったよ。この世界は本当に横暴で理不尽。やり返すことすら許されない。結局奴には勝てなかった。戦で負けるのは弱虫って言うけど、私やっぱり弱虫ね。また会えるのかな？お父さん、グスタフおじさんと約束を交わしたイエロ社に行けるのかな？疲れたよ。本当に疲れた。迎えに来てよ、お父さん。タニア、早く家に帰りたい。
I found in that room, after I went back to the launch base to dispose of Omega's remains. On the other side of the room, on the floor next to the control panel, right in front of the smashed window. That must be where Titania was attacked by the assassin fell then. She must have just hung up our call and was about to open the launch pad. That's why she came over here. If I hadn't asked her to help me, if she hadn't been to this room, if she had been with her resistance army soldiers at the time, then instead. Ha 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 ha. There aren't that many ifs, adjutant. Duchess Orlava? I heard cheerful laughter sound behind me. I turned around in astonishment, but I saw someone else instead. It's really fun to mess with me. Oh, someone needs to properly punish you, Ida. What was going on? Was this some kind of residual effect from Valhalla? Ever since I took care of the tree and survived Valhalla, Ida had been haunting me like a ghost, showing up occasionally to toy with me. At first, I thought I'd never really woken up, and was still trapped in Valhalla. But after I did everything to make sure I was back, I finally realized she wasn't the same Ida I met before. Rather than a super AI that was bent on destroying the world, she was more human. Are you sad? She was a bad lady. She was using you for the whole time. You knew that. Shut the fuck up. Fine. I was going to tell you how to rescue her since you look sad, but you're annoyed, so I'll shut the fuck up. Do you think I'm an idiot? I didn't want to think about what she looked like in those last moments. Her willpower was still fighting the tree until the very end. Tatiana Orlova was a true person of Yehrus. She was worthy of her name and able to handle the responsibility of being a leader. Yeah, that's right. You're a stupid idiot. She became a titan, was defeated by you, evaporated, disintegrated, and then where did she go? Everything cycles through this world over and over again. Nothing ever truly disappears. You clearly got a handle on this ability of yours, but you don't even understand this fundamental principle. You can maintain your individuality in Valhalla. You can also find others within it. Whether she continues to exist or disappears completely depends on whether you forget her. Surely she must have been lying to me. She was trying to throw me off. Get rid of what's in your hand and whack your brain, adjutant. That's the last thing you'll find deep within your mind. Yeah. Yeah, so there was some partial voice acting. Well, that was more for Orlova's part, and then the rest, well, I had to read the rest, so yeah. So that was the year story. So next stream we're about to start the new Yehrus story, and we're about to start the Realm of Illusion. And in June it's the Svensson Skytopia, and then Operation Midnight follows that. And after that we got the Shuzo and Sands of Secrets and Maze of Darkness. So we're halfway finished on finishing the Legacy story. So yeah. Oh, speaking of, that reminds me too. So we're nowhere near close to the end of May just yet. We still got 1 week away. Let me take a look. Yeah, 1 week away. Next week's the 30th. So I still haven't used the mods just yet, but yeah, I'm still waiting on what's gonna happen next. So if nothing else changes by the time we hit June, then I might use the mods, but keep that in mind. Well, no one's got hit with a ban, but doesn't exactly guarantee that you'll be safe, so we'll probably have to take that into consideration. So anyways, I'm done rambling now. So tune in next week as we're going to continue. Well, we're going to start the new Yehrus story. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this stream or this video archive. This I'm Steve, and I'll see you guys next time.